ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 115 of I Got Gameplay. Sorry, it was on my throat there. Yes, this is me, it's Michael Burhan, your lovable host, the man with the biggest Johnson on the planet. Seriously, he's over there. Hi, John. Good? No? Okay. And, speaking of Johnsons, we have the man that makes the ladies' hearts torn asunder. He is the sexiest voice on the Retro Unlimited in all of radio. He is the man, the myth, the legend, and if I could, I would melt him down and make an amiibo of him. He is Mr. Xander Scullion.
Hello, I just actually woke up. I drank some apple pie moonshine, and I'm up now. So what's up?
See, just that voice, it just makes ladies' ovaries explode. Seriously, we need to bottle it. We need to turn it into a fragrance, Xander. Get us guys like a bit more. You know, guys like me and Dave here who just have to try harder.
Voices by
we could bottle you. We could call it Xander spray.
We'll call it the Xander.
No, never mind. That sounds gross.
the smell of Scullion. It would smell like moonshine and apple pie. Speaking of moonshine and apple pie, we have a gentleman who loves his apple pies and kebabs. He is Mr. Dave Wade. Lawnboys Post 1975.
Also on the kebab side, not apple pies.
More on the kebab side. So you said you had a kebab today, Dave?
Yeah, I had a lamb doner tonight.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what a lamb doner is, it's basically just
check out my Facebook page. I just put a picture of it up.
It's the meat that no one knows even existed on the lamb. it's the
and
part
the
that
thing is, yeah, it's exactly. And they're still doing tests, random tests and takeaways across the country right now, and finding scarily that quite a lot of takeaways don't actually have lamb and other animals that you shouldn't be eating in them.
Yes, it's basically one of those places where you don't really ask what the meat is, but it does taste so good. Speaking of something
just hand up your fiver and smile.
Exactly. Speaking of something that smells so good, but has a mouth like a sailor. Oh ye, she's on the seashore. Yes, she is the lovely, petite individual who will probably kick my ass. Yes, she is Miss Jamie Styles from Hasness Cosplay. Jamie, how you doing, madam?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful, and I wouldn't hurt you. I wouldn't hurt you.
You wouldn't hurt me now, but if I was near you, I'd probably get a kick in the man testicles. How are you doing today?
As opposed to the female testicles?
I'm doing...
Hey, I've never known a female that has testicles, Dave. Sorry, Jamie.
Then you've never been around me, because, ew.
Oh god, the conversations.
I actually told someone to suck my imaginary 8-inch cock the other day, like, you don't even know. Like, I got mad.
Was that like a hello from you? It was like, hey, how's it going? Suck my 7-inch imaginary inch cock. You lovely person.
We're going to a convention, like, next Saturday, and I'm holding a photo shoot in memory of Monty Ohm to do, like, Ruby and Rooster Teeth cosplay, and we're just gonna, like, chill out, take some photos, and remember Monty. And so we're like, and it turns out that, like, two people that we've recently had problems with, we've had problems with in the past, are, like, going to be there. Like, they might show up. And people are like, what if they cause drama? And I'm like, if they start causing drama, then I'm going to tell them to suck my imaginary 8-inch cock. And everyone was just like, okay.
Just don't piss her off, because that's just... I don't know. That for me still turns me on. I don't know why. I'm a very, very sick individual. Speaking of sick individuals, I don't know how we got that to that one. We have a special guest today, folks, and I don't think he'll be returning again after this conversation. He is a lovely gentleman, someone I met basically at Play Blackpool. I had managed to interview him. If you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheNerdGenius, where we're currently streaming at the moment. He is an amazing comic book artist. He basically produces the comic himself. He writes it, he edits it, and, you know, it's to me, from everything I've seen about it, it's just purely amazing. He is a gentleman by the name of Steve Dick. Steve, welcome to the show. And
hi guys.
I apologise in advance, but this is the way that we work on this show.
My kind of humour.
Yeah, we never said we were highbrow.
No, we're the type of people who know of what highbrow is and kind of laugh in its face. But we're all good. And tell us a little bit about The Safest Place to Hide, the comic book that you're producing currently, because it's an interesting comic and it's a great kind of use of like your own experiences in a sense, because, you know, like a lot of us here, like Jamie, of course, like Xander, and also like Mr. Lawnboy over here, we've all grown up in gaming. We've all grown up, reading comic books, being part of nerd culture. We've immersed ourselves in that kind of thing. And you've managed to kind of take those experiences and put it to page, in a sense, and create kind of a new concept when it comes to this the zombie genre. And it's something that I love dearly, because I love like zombie games. Some of my favourite games is the Dead Rising series, and also, when we talked about a bit of like zombies and death and stuff, Silent Hill, of course, which is not necessarily zombie, but it kind of has some of those elements in it. But yeah, how did you incorporate? How did you kind of take a genre and re-innovate it into your own kind of design?
The idea has always been with me. I've loved zombie films, zombie games. Resident Evil, playing through those when they re-released that on the GameCube, it was just perfect. It was one of those games
zombie
that I was
porn.
yeah, just that kind of. And it was just when I started writing this story, it was just this idea of trying to take all of these different elements of different popular cultures that I enjoy, to kind of make that up. I read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff, so the idea of this pulp horror, keeping the story short and simple, but keeping it to its roots, where it's just keeping it nice and just trying to keep it as pure to like that kind of horror sort of genre as it is. And with using zombies, zombies I found were a great kind of protagonist. I can put them in there, and you don't necessarily have to have this every time a zombie's in. You know what a zombie is. We've had it. Walking Dead being so popular now. All of these, there's lots of new zombie films out. It's an instantly recognisable monster. So it was something that I didn't really need to overly elaborate on, so I could then focus on the main character in it. And the other sidebar of this is it's a kind of, well, it's not a real autobiography, but that's one of the sticks to it. It's the story of something that we'll never remember happening, and this trilogy explains why it's called that, why I've titled it as an autobiography. So yeah, it's keeping with that pulp horror kind of vibe. One of the things I loved about Silent Hill, it kept with that kind of Lovecraftian kind of view. Any kind of like horror, just the whole cultist edge and things like that. And it was bringing all that into it. Within the first chapter, it already explains where the zombies come from, what started it, and that just gives you that. It's also trying to keep it to my kind of humour, like yourselves. I'm not an overly intelligent guy, so I don't try and be elaborate with my sense of humour. It's all very slapstick. It's in your face, and it keeps. I guess it's trying to incorporate all of those into a short story and keeping it to there. I wasn't saying you guys aren't intelligent. I'm just saying that I'm not. That's why my kind of humour is stuck at that sort. My kind of humour.
If I had a shovel soundbite, I think I'd use that right now. Kind of digging yourself out of a hole there. But no, I agree with you. It's very. The thing is, I've always found with humour, it doesn't have to kind of be the intelligent kind. You don't have to say something that's kind of Frasier-esque in the sense where it's witty, and most people probably wouldn't understand it. The greatest comedies, the ones that that everyone will get, you understand your audience, and I think that's the kind of the main thing from this as well. Plus, you use a lot of gaming and pop culture elements in this story as well, because from what I've seen, like I remember you showed me an image of like one of the zombies being Mario and Luigi, in a sense, like wearing that kind of sort of cosplay, and it works because you look at that whole kind of idea and the fact that how I was talking to Xander about this quite recently, how nerd culture has gotten kind of like bigger now. Actually I was talking to you, Dave, about it as well, how like because Dave was talking about the Big Bang Theory and how that kind of made nerd culture kind of hip again, when I was saying to him, no, it's actually because nerd culture became hip that the Big Bang Theory happened. So it kind of it tries to do intelligent humour, but it shows kind of the outcasts in that culture as well at the same time, and you manage to kind of throw that in there, throw those kind of elements, and use your own kind of drawing style as well to make it something very specifically different as well, because your main protagonist isn't an adult in it, is he?
No, it's me from about 10 years ago when I was back at uni, and yeah, it was that kind. The look of him is pretty much. Yeah, it's a younger version of me, but with the same time it's not going to be any like big reveal that within the story we find out within the first chapter anyway that he's immune to zombies. Zombies don't see him. You know, he has to do something very, very stupid to get their attention. But with that, he still has that element of fear. So he still hides when he goes to sleep. No, he still hides away because he still tries to stay away from them because it's written about me. I know full well that I could easily cock that up at any time.
Yeah.
And it keeps that in there. It's like I say with the humour. It's not a blink and you'll miss it sort of humour. It's very much in all the kind of like pop culture that are put in there, very obvious sort of things that that I've grown up with and loving. Like you say, with the picture from where he stood in the middle of all the cosplayers that are all having a big like New Year's Eve party, all dressed, and he's just eating happily away, and it's just funny little elements of where this could have gone. I mean, that's where those kind of concept ideas came in when I started putting those together.
Yeah, because you've got like some studio Ghibli-esque elements in there with the neighbor Totoro. You've got like a Jigglypuff in there as well. There's a Darth Vader cosplay. You've got Mario and Luigi. You've got Wonder Woman, and I can see a Captain America in the background.
Yeah,
and it shows a lot of those kind of elements in there. And in terms of like the story itself, where do you plan on taking it? What's the main idea in producing this comic? Because I know you're doing all of it yourself. You're kind of being a jack of all trades here. But where do you see it going?
The story itself is now all. First 3 parts of the trilogy are all written up now.
Yeah.
While I'm just finishing off chapter, which is the last chapter for the first part. That gives me time to put those 2 bits of the story to the last 2 comics to one side, just the writing part of it, and when I can come back to it gives me fresh eyes to look back at that. But when I come into that, it's I always find writing a very quick process then I know what works by keeping it there. Once it comes back to me, it's very easy to very quickly just write down what you think is really good, and then when you read it later on, you start thinking, yeah. It's very tactile. The way I work is very tactile. I'll cut and change things at a drop of a hat.
But
with this, with this, if I see a panel I don't like it straight out, and in the sense of like zombie films, you cut your arm off before it infects the rest of the comic. You get it out there, and as the comic develops with the last chapter as well, there is a development with the actual artwork. So it's working that and getting that to a point so I'm more comfortable when writing up the next 2 parts of the comic, part 2 and part 3. It's getting that comfortability, getting that awareness for myself on how I'm going to construct this, how I'm going to storyboard it. But from a release point of view, I'm looking at doing digital versions of the comics as they come out, but at the same time, I want to try and raise the money to basically try and get printed versions of these.
Yeah.
So it's I like my comics. I like to hold them while I'm reading, and I think something like this is something for myself and anybody else that has that love.
And that's the thing as well. We've got a lot of passionate people here as well. I think in terms of everyone that's kind of here on the show, and also everybody who listens to it, we have that same passion. Xander himself does, like, his main kind of passion is his music. Even though Xander has his YouTube channel where he talks about his hobby a bit. Jamie, she's a cosplayer and also an actress as well. You got Dave here, who his main interest is trying to build himself a DeLorean. How's that working out, Dave?
Yeah, it's not working out very well, but it will happen.
Please get it on Kickstarter. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to get it on Kickstarter. I think that's the only way. That's the only way to do it.
Do a Patreon.
Will you fund my travel back in time? You know, I think it would
No,
probably.
screw that. I'm not aiming big. Will you basically buy me a DeLorean? There you go. No Kickstarter.
Yeah, I don't want to build it myself. I'm not clever.
But can you replace the shit French engine with like a Corvette engine or something? That's my only stipulation.
So going on from that, let's ask you. Let's get the panel to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
And fire them at you. Xander, have you got a question here for Steve?
Yeah, I got a question. I was going to ask you if you could be in any sort of zombie movie, like any sort of era of the zombie apocalypse, which one would you gladly be a part of?
Well, any George Romero movie. I'd have to say my favourite one is Dawn of the Dead. I would be slap bang in the middle of that supermarket.
Which one though? Is it the George A. Romero version or is it the remake? Because I love the remake as
Oh,
well.
George Romero version. Slow walking zombies are. No, I've never understood the running zombie. One of the reasons why is because the whole point with zombies doesn't matter how far you run, how fast you run. You've got to tire out, and those things will catch you up. When you've got them running, it just takes that fear away. There's no kind of
Sheer
fear
weight
to
and
really
numbers.
pass on me.
Oh, sheer weight.
Yeah,
and
it's
numbers.
just the moment they run quick, you're dead. You're going to tire with something like that running behind you. And I know that's, but this is the nature. This is the nature of being in what I do. I love films. I love books. So I get that involved. So when I see things like that, I start thinking, well, does that work? It's trying to change
Yeah.
a recognisable monster. It's like when people take vampires and they start trying to change up how they act and react. It's just like don't mess around with a good formula.
Are you not a fan of
You know?
TV shows like The Strain, for instance? Because I love the conversation about it. I think that's a very nifty take on like the vampire kind of thing, being a virus.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's not necessarily the change. I think it's when they start change. Not how they actually become vampires. It's when they change the nature of them afterwards. It's like I don't.
Steve, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
You thought the undead?
Yeah, that's my biggest love for zombies. That's why Walking Dead was it is a nice breath of fresh air from that perspective, because you are watching, they're keeping that, the slow moving, when they get into the nitty gritty of the idea of no medication out there. It's great. It's a great little show. Well, big show versus me little show on my own about.
There's a phrase I'd like to chuck around. I can't pretend I made it up, because, well, I'd like to think I made it up, but when I talk about zombie movies, I say you're either a Romero purist or you just don't get it. And I'm a Romero purist.
Yeah, right. I get that, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's yeah, go on, Xander.
I was about to say, Steve, I think you would enjoy this, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys what I did back in high school. Because I'm a big zombie fan myself. I did my senior project I did on the social and political idealism of horror movies, where I was tying in all these social events with movies that we like to watch that had to do with horror. And I focused a lot on zombies, because what's weird is zombie movies, like, as a broad, like, they're very, like, oh, it's zombies. But if you really watch them and dig deep into them, there's actually a lot of symbolism with these kind of movies. And for the product, I actually made a 30-minute short film, and it was called Dead Unleaded. And this was back when Hurricane Katrina had hit the States, and gasoline was really, really high. And I was like, I made this movie where the government came up with a new fossil fuel, like a new sort of fuel for engines, but the problem was the gas.
Fracking. Oh my god, you predicted fracking. You should have painted that.
Well, like, the government had introduced a new kind of fuel, but the fumes were starting to make people go insane, like almost like a 28 Days Later kind of zombie S type of behavior, and that was so much fun. So, well, like, do you like the more slow-paced zombies, or the more, like, insane spider monkey zombies?
Oh, slow paced every time. It's like saying when you would. I did not similar to you, but when I was at uni, I just did a fine art course while I was there, and a lot of my artwork was was pop culture related, and I did a bit. Spent my first 2 years doing a lot of things on zombies and using that iconography. And when I was asked to do a talk about it, I was talking about Romero's zombies and how, the zombies being especially with Dawn of the Dead, the zombies being a metaphor for the way that we go out every day and these just walking around with your head down, just going through the shops and not really taking note of what's around you. The way he's basically just trying to say we're all zombies. We're just not dead yet, And I did this talk about this. Had used plenty of pieces where George Romero's talking about his symbolisms within these movies.
Yeah.
And I had a tutor just sit there straight to my face and tell me I'd made it all up, and it was like, but he's there on the screen talking, you can't help but like a room full of people, and I was just like, yeah. So going back to that, you're either a Romero zombie fan or you just don't get it, and that is pretty. I wish I'd heard that at the time, because I could have just thrown that straight at him. And it's
now that you've approved it, I'll have T-shirts coming soon.
Oh,
Well,
good man.
it's true though as well, because I do like Danny Boyle's zombies, but I think his zombies aren't. It's kind of, they're not true zombies, if that makes sense.
He did something good
Yeah.
though. We forget
Yeah.
that. Danny Boyle did it right. Was he never said they were zombies?
Yeah, they were
So
kind of mutants
that's-
in a sense. They're kind of in the same.
That's why I
vein.
like that movie, in the sense that even though it's running zombies, I can tolerate it and watch it. It's a brilliant movie, especially the empty London bits that are just creepy. But
Yeah.
I can tolerate it or enjoy it simply because he says, I never said these were zombies. That's for you to decide. I just said it's a virus.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like these are kind of mutated people. One of the reasons why I hated World War Z is because they
Shit.
not just that. It's kind of they tried to make it into an action movie. They turned a zombie movie into an action movie. Then they tried to have this whole family element. They tried to shoehorn the kind of Walking Dead atmosphere, and I was like, you can't do that with this movie because it's an action movie. There's not with the Walking Dead. The greatest thing about it is the zombies are kind of the background players. The humans.
Plus, it taught us that if the zombie apocalypse happens, get yourself 2 copies of Reader Digest and tape them to your forearms.
Yeah, and also like, don't trust any fucker that comes near you. Anyone who's probably got good intentions is probably going to try and eat your leg. And that's that kind of the thing about it is the Walking Dead aren't the zombies themselves; they're the actual humans. Sort of like there's no cure; it's us. We're the problem. And you just see society kind of.
I Am Legend, almost. Really.
Yeah, the society kind of degenerates in its own because there's no laws. The societies, there's no ethics. Everyone's thrown it all out the window because they're trying to save their own skin. You see good people turn into raving lunatics, and you see bad people come out and justify their actions because it's survival of the fittest, and it's scary.
Well, it's also, I don't know if you touched upon this, Steve, but it's there's 2 sides to the virus, which is you're either infected, which makes you a zombie, or you're not.
Yeah.
But the way you have to survive or act, to keep going, in some degrees is almost as bad as the virus, because it turns, sane people, school teachers into homicidal maniacs simply because that's what it costs you to survive.
Yeah.
Well, with this story, I hit on that point within the story itself, because your main character, he's not really affected by what's going on. He can happily walk past hordes of these zombies and they don't touch him. But when he's a great asset then for when you meet people that are affected by them. You get this you can have this discussion when they're pulling the gun out. He has that discussion. Why are you carrying a weapon? And and you have this nice kind of this conversation between the two about where he's saying, well, it's okay for you, but I have to live like this. This is a way that I have to live. It's do or die within this world. You get this straight from the start.
So you say there's a little bit of sort of disassociation with him from the environment around him, because he's blessed. Basically.
Yeah, there's a bit of for the main character. He's completely dissociated with everything because he doesn't have to live by normal constraints himself. So he still has to go around taking whatever food he can, whatever he needs, just to get by. But because he can do that, he's just as self-obsessed as the people who need to get weapons to look after themselves and are afraid every day. He's just as afraid of his own life and where he's going to end and getting and reaching all of his basically his means fitting his ends, so just the same as these other characters, but it's just the two different ends of it. One is fighting to live, the other one is just living to keep himself happy, and it is that blend when you get these two kind of, because it happens a few times you meet different sides of different people and how they're dealing with the apocalypse, and how and how he comes across a complete stranger to them because of that.
But that's the thing as well. When you think about it, because I think about this a lot. One of my major discussions I have with people is, what would you do if you were in the middle of the zombie apocalypse? And I couldn't be alone. That's not the way I work. I can't, me being on my own is actually kind of my own hell. It's my own personal hell. I go crazy. I need people around me. I'll need to have, people I trust, of course, because I wouldn't want someone trying to kill me in my sleep for my water. But I would need to kind of be around people, especially people like my friends and stuff. Otherwise I'd go mad. It's like one of the great things about having the internet currently is we can actually talk to each other. There's always someone out there for me to talk to. I'm never alone, But if I was on my own, it would be like four walls. Shit. What the fuck am I going to do now? How am I going to react to this? And it's a big thing. But going on from that, Jamie, do you have a question for our special guest?
I do. I actually have two, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go on.
Number one is, you talked about Resident Evil. I have to ask, what is your favorite Resident Evil game?
Oh, this! I had a good discussion with a guy today about this. A lad I work with. I'd have to say the remake of Resident Evil on the GameCube. I know they're doing an HD version of it now, but it's just the bit that really got me hooked with that. I mean, the other one was Resi 4. It was amazing. I played it.
That was such a good game.
Thank you, because so many people don't consider that a Resident Evil game, and it is, because it may not be zombie, but it's so creepy.
I have to admit, I was worried when that came out. I was worried about it because this lack of zombies, but when you started playing it, it was as an instant hook. But
plus, the Wii version of it's absolutely amazing, because you can whip this sounds terrible. You can whip your piece around the screen like a ninja.
He's talking about the Wii remote, not his personal junk. That would just be weird.
Yeah, but with the remake of Resident Evil on the GameCube, did you not find that first zombie you come across when you find him eating away and when it
turns around?
Yeah, when you first play that game when it came out and you killed it and it was a little dead end there and it was like, okay, so you automatically knew how that game was supposed to run. And what really caught me was the moment you killed him. I was sitting there, I remember playing, my brother was sat right next to me watching, and he went, there's a way past there, and all of a sudden we realised the game, it was completely changed. There's new ways around the mansion, and it was like, it didn't change it. It didn't change it enough for it to take it completely away from what the game was, but it was enough for you to suddenly go, "Oh shit! This is this has become a challenge now." And it's a great game.
You said you had to fight them.
Yeah. Oh, the redheads when they get up and start running at you. Oh. I was just looking for a barrel of kerosene for that.
Yeah, I've actually been watching a walkthrough of the new HD remaster that we put out, and they actually changed some of what happens from the original game.
Yeah,
they've actually added some stuff in there, so it's actually pretty cool and worth the walkthrough watch or the playthrough, whatever.
Re-engineered version as well, though, Jamie, of the GameCube version, because this is literally the GameCube version of the game, but they've tweaked it a little bit, which is really nice.
That's what I heard. Yeah, because everyone goes, "Oh, are you going to get this game?" And I always said, "Well, no, I've got the GameCube version. I'll play it on my Wii. What's the difference?" And they said, "Well, it's not HD." I went, "Well, as far as I can tell, it looks exactly the same."
Well, the GameCube doesn't actually do HD. The GameCube does 720
No, I know that. I'm saying it does,
but it's the same game. Literally, the mechanics, everything's the same. But yeah, Jamie,
Resident 2 that game, by the way. Remember, imagine if they did that? I think they really missed a trick that we never got a Resident Evil 2 on the GameCube.
That's a shame too, yeah. But apparently they are doing a new one. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a sec. Jamie, you got your next question?
Yeah, I'm like an artist as well. I do a lot of different things. I do play and I draw and I sew cosplays and things like that. I was wondering, every artist goes to like this funk, like this art block where like they can't draw anything, they don't have any inspiration. I was wondering, what do you look at for inspiration, like when you're in that funk? Like, is there an artist that you look at? Do you listen to a certain type of music? Do you watch a movie? Like what gets you out of that funk?
I think all of the above on what you've answered, on what you've asked there. I get into those very easily. I can be very quickly dissuaded from what I'm doing. Like say when I was saying earlier on about, I can look back at a page on the comic book and I can see one frame that I back for stuff back and forwards with a friend of mine called Mike. And when we talk about stuff, he'll see the image and he thinks it's great, but I'll just see it and I'll just get rid of it. It has to go. And then the kinds of things that I listen to, I listen to a lot of heavy metal music, so it's,
good man.
Anything, put a bit of Slayer on, just something that really gets, that's the kind of music that gets my mind just jumping. As comic books go, I'll look at guys like Mike Mignola. I look, just real artists that have come forwards within a comic industry, and what we see as a social norm for your Jim Lees and that, but all the way that they draw, and a guy like him comes along and just makes the most beautiful Hellboy comics, and I get inspiration from those kind of artists, people that really change the bar, get a good mood, get a good setting. I play a lot of Warhammer 40,000, so I can break out my miniatures as well and just get into painting those. Just changing up.
The more this conversation progresses, the more I'm convinced we were separated at birth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but yes. So for me, it is about. So sometimes when you get in those funks, change what you're doing. If you go away and do one of your other passions. Like you say, if you're getting stuck on drawings, just I also play guitar and that, so I'll go away and I'll just mess around with one of my other crafts, and have a get into that and just guitar's a great thing to get the steam out.
You could do me a
just
big
getting on
favour
there
on
and just
to tell Jamie she still needs to knit me a hat.
The Gaming Pegasus 187 says World War Z seems like a movie equivalent of Walking Dead Survival Instinct. And Oha, Burhan with the dick joke. Yep, I'm always with the dick jokes. But yeah, I agree with him. If you haven't played The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, the game is just a terrible version.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it's you could literally. I would spend that money on toilet paper.
Just the Telltale.
No, this is the other game that I think who released it. I think was it Ubisoft that released it.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, because there was it could have been Squeenix as well.
Now.
Yeah, because there was a one which was released. It was like a big release, and then there was the Telltale one. The Telltale one's a lot better than the one that was released because
that's
they
why I
tried.
get confused, because I know that the one's really, and that's why I was scared to buy it, because I didn't read any reviews. One of them is brilliant, and the other one's a stinker, and I didn't know which was which.
Survival
so I was
Instinct's a stinker. If it doesn't have Telltale Games in front of it, that's the stinker. So.
By the way, this ties in nicely to what we're talking about in the theme of this show, which is zombies.
Yeah.
I hate reality TV shows, but I got to get around to watching this. There's a new reality TV show on BBC Three called I Survived the Zombie Apocalypse, and it's a reality TV show where they take a group of people from the public and dump them in a zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
And
yeah, I've got that the first part tape. I've not watched it yet.
it might be. I'm not saying it's brilliant, people. It might be crap. I'm just saying I'm down with the idea, and I hate reality.
Did
TV
you watch
shows.
Dead Set?
Yes, I did. The one with Big Brother.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, the fact that they just put all the Big Brother, there was a Big Brother thing going on, and then the zombie apocalypse happened, and everyone was getting picked off.
I just like seeing zombies and beating them a cool.
Yeah, hats off to them. It was the only way they were ever going to get me to watch anything to do with Big Brother.
Yeah, I agree. It was a bold move, and I think they should have ended Big Brother
Ended
when
on
that
too
happened.
much of a downer, though. I have to say, ended on too much of a downer.
I liked it.
I mean,
I don't think
I know
there's
that's the
any
whole
survivors.
premise of Walking Dead, isn't it? The whole premise of Walking Dead, the comic book is the guy who wrote it said, I forget his name now. Shit, what's his name? Bollocks, I've forgotten his name.
By the way,
He
for
said the
those-
problem with zombie
Yeah.
movies is you get 2 hours into the insight of this world
Yeah.
with people going through hardship, and then it ends. But the thing is, the world doesn't end. It's we've got the apocalypse. It goes on forever. So how about we just explore an ongoing series of, guess what, the world's still here. And I love that premise. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Reaper
That's
Pikachu.
why I liked George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. It's not at the end when they jump in the helicopter. There's 2 of them left. They started out as the 4 of them. There's only 2 survivors, and it's where we're going to go. We're going to go somewhere safe. And you just think, well, that was at the start. Of the film. And it's that great little ending it
Yeah.
where it started.
No, I
Because
agree.
you know wherever they go, it's going to happen again.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, Reaper Pikachu says Neo Winter. No idea what that means.
I
But
got it. I
you-
showed a link to the podcast
Oh.
to one of my friends, and I'm also an admin on a Ruby fan page, and I go by the tag Neapolitan.
Oh,
They were saying hello.
oh, they're that cute. She says hello back. You can tell because you're listening. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The thing about the whole apocalypse theme is it's not about the apocalypse itself. It's about the fact that you have all these elements that are involved in it. In a sense, life continues even though that this thing's happened. And I think that's one thing with us as people is if you look at that elements like 9/11 and as Xander's just basically pointed out Hurricane Katrina, the one thing we tend to do is we tend to just continue with our lives. We don't, nothing stops us in a sense. Life is always going to be there, and it's one of those things where it builds up in a sense. So Dave, do you want to direct your question at Steve Dixon? Guys in the chat, if you want to put your question to Steve as well, you're more than welcome to. Go for it, Dave.
I have a couple of questions. One's comic book related, and the other one's just insane. But we'll get to that. Comic books. Who were your big inspirations, artist-wise? Because I'm a massive comic book whore, and I have to say I absolutely adored the late 80s, early 90s, pre the hologram cover phase that really got on my tits, and gatefold covers and variants and shit, where everything was made silver and smelt of roses.
Yeah.
But I love
I have
that
to
period.
say,
Like Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Todd
Todd McFarlane was a big one there for me. The whole kind of introduction of Venom and all those. He had such a good run with Spider-Man. He
and
had
he
some of
shaped
the
the
best
webs.
storylines.
Forget this. He shaped the way webs looked permanently.
Yeah.
With that little knotty effect that I love. I haven't really achieved anything with my life, but when I'm dead, I want my epitaph and my tombstone to say, "Got a complete run on Todd McFarlane, Amazing Spider-Man." You're welcome.
So,
Yeah, George Perez and Marv Wolfman were a great duo. Big fan of Teen Titans comics had done. That was an amazing. That's another amazing artist.
Were you
An
a Marvel
amazing
or DC
duo.
boy when you were a kid, though? Just a little bit on the question, but it's kind of like
DC.
Spectrum versus Commodore 64, isn't it?
no,
That
you
question.
added your little caveat to the question in a sense. No, but DC, I think DC at the moment, in terms of comic books, they're still superior. Marvel's kind of tucking their tail between their legs and don't really know where they're going. It's kind of clustered.
Are we talking story-wise, or are we talking character-wise?
I think story and character, because Marvel's, like, at the moment, the major story arc in X-Men is Professor X has come back from the past.
Well, X-Men storyline has just gone downhill, movie-verse and comic-verse. Like,
I
that's what's so sad.
I love the new X-Men movie, though. I have to admit, I was a huge fan of Days of Future Past. I felt they did it so right with that movie.
I haven't actually watched it yet because I cannot physically.
If you don't see it, it's literally like having a naked man dangle his bits in front of you. You need to see it.
I'll do it because I cannot force myself to watch that movie. They have went so far out of canon that it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's the
But
thing.
it
It
was
kind
so
of
good.
it builds everything back up. There
No, it doesn't.
were a lot of like
It's not fried chicken in
there were a lot of
movie
issues
form.
it does have. I agree with you on that, but they can be ignored
Like plot?
in a sense. Yeah, plot issues, but they can be ignored in a sense
I
because
wasn't.
the end result is so good.
I will say this. This is the Days of Futures Past is one of the first movies that I watched where they undo a sequel.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the greatest thing about
Oh my
it.
god, wait, which sequel did they undo?
I'm not going to
gonna
tell you
know.
because I don't want to spoil too much, but they undo
God damn it, Xander, come
a
on.
sequel.
They undo a
Google
lot.
it.
They undo a lot of damage.
Major
They do undo a lot of damage.
Continuity.
Yeah, they do undo a lot of damage, but there are liberties that they take. You know, there's a lot of liberties that they take. I did a review on it for Movie File, and I talked about a lot about it because it was nearly like an hour review, talking about the fact how the
Yes, because I remember you should have put at the start of it spoilers.
yeah basically the movie itself took a lot of liberties with the license because there were certain things that you're sitting there and you're like, hang on, I've watched X1, 2 and 3 and that didn't happen. You know, how did they do this? How did they manage to put a stop to that if that works? You know, but it does bridge the gap. It kind of sews everything up and gets rid of all the shit and allows it to kind of continue on a nice smooth path.
Good
Which is
excellent.
yeah, and it does it like in a kind of a nice. It gives that nice little caveat, and for me, I when I came out of watching that movie, I was like, "Eee!" That's the manliest squee that you've ever heard. But I was like, "Eee!"
Well,
So
okay,
you had a
I will
fit.
ask this.
Did you get to the toilet on time, yeah?
yeah, it was. I was people just looking at me like you're a big buff dude and you're making that sound. What the hell's wrong with you?
I will ask this: is it at least better than the Wolverine movie? Because
Yes.
that one just sabotaged the entire arc.
Yes, because that
Anything's
made
better
no
than-
sense. The fight scenes were good, but the movie itself made no sense. But yeah, it was
Was
a
his
far
bloody
better.
blood from his claws popping the first time, traumatizing him like we saw in X2? Oh, I have a second question, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Right, zombie apocalypse. I love this because you're a zombie fan. It's brilliant. We should get more zombie fans on here, Burhan. By the way, note to future self. More zombie people. I love The Fold. I love everything about zombies. I have a really stupid rule that I've had since I was 12. It cost me a lot of money, and it's called Dave's Zombie Rule, which is if I see a movie with zombies in it in a supermarket, I'll buy it. I won't even bother looking it up. I'll just buy it. And I've bought some tat, let me tell you. But, right, so zombie apocalypse happens. You got 5 minutes. What 5 things do you take from your house? Sorry, that's a bit deep, isn't it?
Yeah, so what five? What?
5
So
minutes.
if 5 things that you can only take from your house, Steve.
Because the horde is coming up, so you've got to literally grab it and stuff it in a bag and then get the fuck out of Dodge.
The heaviest damn finger can to crush the skulls in. None of this cutting heads off. Crush the brain, man. Get a good hammer. That's that. Man, I might just take 5 hammers. To be fair with you, you're gonna run out after a while.
Yeah, because you've
I've got
got like
2.
I don't know, because food's not a great thing to try and run off with, is it? Because it's soon going to go off, and the way I eat, it's not going to last me 2 seconds. I might as well just die in the fucking zombies.
yeah, but would you get infected if you eat the infected meat?
Not if it was in my comic. No, I wouldn't.
Well,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking
We're all
about,
about- yeah,
but you're
yeah.
in Romero time. You're in the
Yeah.
Romero.
Oh well, yeah. I'd be screwed then.
Well, because he bit the bloke's finger off, didn't he, and became a zombie. I tell you, the first 2 things I would take from my house, they would be A, my car keys, and B, my car.
Ooh, you kind of
What if
Shaun
the
of the
roads are
Deading
crammed?
it.
What if the roads are crammed?
You know what I would,
And
what I would take,
And for the love of God, go ahead.
I would take probably some underpants because I'm probably going to be shitting myself a lot, and I would basically take my laptop just so I could actually smack them in the skulls with it, and probably my film camera so I can document everything.
No, because then that would be
And for
Diary
the
of the
love
Dead.
of God, for the love of God, take a can opener.
I was just going
Can
to
open
say,
up.
thank
Oh
you,
yeah,
thank
you
you.
think you've solved everything, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone overlooks that, don't they? I was just about to say that, which is the greatest thing you could take from your house is a can opener. And people are like, whoa, what are you going to do with that? Well, because think about it, the only thing you're going to be able to eat from supermarkets is tin food.
Well, Swiss Army knife. One better.
AK-47 extendable clip.
Where are we going to find that?
Very nice.
Unless we break into a freaking military base.
Well, I was just going to say, we're British. We're not going to find a gun, are we? No. We don't have. By the way, Americans, we don't have guns in this country.
We'll pepper spray them to death. Pepper spray them.
If you're going to take a gun, you might as well just take an air horn, because all you're doing is just inviting them to your destination, aren't you?
No, I agree with you.
Always use a bow and arrow.
That as well. That's actually that's another.
Oh, because then you have to clean the infected blood off your arrows.
It doesn't matter. As long as you clean it off, you have pretty much infinite ammo if you can get your arrows back, or you can actually make more quite easily with shrapnel and stuff around you. And it's also a good long range weapon and a good close range weapon as well.
Plus, you look cool.
True facts.
Here's a weird question, crossing the streams. If Wolverine pops his claws into a zombie and then retracts them with the infected blood on the claws, because think about it, they go back into his body, does that mean he becomes a zombie?
No, he would actually...
Oh my God.
Because I never got the idea of him being a zombie in Marvel Zombies, because that wouldn't happen, because his blood and his healing factor would generate a cure. He would be a zombie for a little while.
Just eat the infected.
Or would it send you around his system quicker?
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
I thought.
What does everyone else think?
Actually, I've got a collection of all the Marvel Zombies comics all in one graphic novel. I think I'd take that with me because that would probably do a bit of damage a bit, and give me something to read as well.
That would be a manual. That would be your
give me tips and
zombie apocalypse for idiots.
Isn't that Shaun of the Dead?
Do you know what my favourite bit in zombie Marvel Zombies is? Which one was it? Marvel Zombies 4, where Peter Parker gets his soul or conscience back, but we find out that he's basically web swinging on his veins.
Ooh,
so cool. Oh, and then he rips his face off because he ate his wife.
Yeah, and his Aunt May. I remember where he goes. They let me do it. The
greatest part of the Marvel Zombie universe was when they did the crossover with Ash, and he had no one's ever heckled Doctor Doom quite like him. It was brilliant.
Yeah, he gets the Necronomicron back and just goes, can you fix this? And it's like, I didn't do this. This isn't
Oh my God.
He's like, oh fuck. But it's and then he gets his brain eaten by Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's bring it onto sort of a game-related question for you, Steve. Have you played any zombie games, and what's your favourite?
Resident Evil. Remake Resident Evil, and that's the best game I've played with zombies in.
What do you like most about it in terms of the gameplay and style? Is it because it has that kind of slow-paced zombie-esque action to it? Do you think they've kind of gone a bit overboard now with the whole gun-toting, kind of Michael Bay-esque action sequences?
Yeah. One of the things I didn't like about the over-shoulder kind of shot is, I mean, with Resi 5 and 6, making them more like a shoot. It's more of a shooter. You've got them when things start shooting back here. It's like, that kind of takes the zombie element out of it, doesn't it? And I don't know. Resident Evil 6. I mean, you just walk along, just kicking zombies out of the way. You didn't even need to shoot them at one point. And it was but that game, it's with the remake as well. It's just the nostalgia of when that game first came out. First playing that and never seen a game like it.
Yeah.
And it was for me nostalgia is a great thing. It's that it's what keeps that game going for me. I'll always remember the first time I ever played them, and how well it was done as well.
So in terms of any other zombie games, is there any other games that you kind of like that you like to play that's secondary to kind of Resident Evil?
Not really. No. I mostly stick to the Resi games. To be fair, I've played around with some of the other games, but they've never really hooked me like that did.
Let me tell you,
I-
an underrated gem that's overlooked by the mass community, and it's so shockingly bad that people don't accept this is the greatest zombie game ever outside of Resident Evil, is Dead Rising, but on the Wii. Because
I
on
love
the
Dead
Wii,
Rising.
your
Dead
guns...
Rising's a great game.
Yeah. No, but on the Wii, I'm saying your guns don't break. You can keep them, and you can upgrade them. You can have all the melee weapons you want in the world. You know, you can put dresses on. That's up your street, Burhan. Sorry. You can drive over people in tractor mowers, but the greatest thing about the Wii version is, which I loved, is, alright, you can only have 100 zombies on the screen at once, but you stick me in a shopping mall, what do I want? I want guns that don't break, because then I basically can play out every single Dawn of the Dead fantasy of my childhood. And that's why I love that game.
My favourite
And
is
my
the,
zombie count, because it gives you the zombie count in the bottom right-hand corner, doesn't it?
Have you played Off the Record, Dave, for the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that one a lot because you can just take the piss. You can just go off and do, like, if you wanted to, you could do escort missions. If you want to, you can go to, like, the little fun fair that they have, where you can just go and, like, go on all the rides and stuff and pick zombies off. You can take photos, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and I like that one a lot better because it's more humorous, where I think the first one's great, but I think the second one, especially the retooling one with Off the Record, does it a hell of a lot more justice.
Yes.
I will say another really good zombie video game, and I'm actually playing Season 2 right now, is the Telltale Walking Dead games. And
Yes.
what I really like about these games is, I'll tell you first off, I'm not a big Walking Dead fan. I mean, it has nothing to do with a TV show. I've just now started watching a TV show knowing that there's only one more season before the series ends. I was like, oh me. But what I really like about it is the sense of survival and the sense of decisions. The stuff you decide to make in this game carries over in each episode, and it pretty much forms your own game, because I'm doing a live stream of it. I'm starting to do a live stream of it, and my friend, she's watching me play, and it's very enjoyable to her because the choices that I'm making are nowhere near the choices that she was making. And it just really taps that emotional element to it, because, I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you, there's a part right now, go ahead and tell you a part in the game, where you're this girl, and, you finally find this camp. Like, you're by yourself, because a bunch of shit happened. So you're by yourself, you find this camp, and it's a rundown camp, and you find this dog. And at first the dog's, like, growling at you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's unsure of you, so you become friends with the dog. Yeah, you become friends with the dog, so you're sitting there helping the dog. You even throw a frisbee, and then you finally find some canned goods. And you're sitting there opening up the can, and you're eating the food, and the dog starts begging. So you give some of the food to the dog, and the dog goes crazy and, like, knocks the can out of your hand, starts eating the food. You try to grab it. The dog bites into your arm. And the player kicks the dog into, like, some, like, scrap metal and impales the dog. And you have to make the decision, do you kill the dog, or do you let it keep on, like, kicking and trying to survive?
Right.
Like, stuff like that. And it's just so
that was
insane.
so painful.
It's insane.
Oh god.
Hey, did you kill the dog, or did you let him squirm?
I killed him. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't let the press there. But I cried. I was bawling.
I'm such an asshole because I let him squirm, because I felt so betrayed. Because I was like, dude, I took this dog in. I became friends with him. I threw a fucking frisbee.
You broke your heart,
He found
didn't you, Xander?
Yeah, he betrayed me. And so I was like, when I kicked him and he got impaled, and he's like, rah, 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 rah. I'm like, that's what you get, motherfucker. That's what you get. I just walked away.
Just hungry. The baby was just hungry. I would be sad. That's so sad.
That's one thing that I always wonder about. Do you think that the Walking Dead TV show is going to continue, like, for more seasons? Because I know the comic books is just stupidly
It was going to get cancelled.
No, it says here that they've got ideas for up to, like, 11 to 12 seasons of the show, or even, like, they say they can continue it for, they've got it for 7 more seasons.
I read the actual comic book, and, it's, I forget what number it's on now, it's ridiculously high.
It's over issue 100, because originally he was going to cancel it, finish the comic book series and end it. But because the show got so successful, they're going to continue. And that's one of those things. It's very, very weird in a sense because there's no clear-cut ending.
But that's what he intended. It's Kirkland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Robert Kirkland?
Kirkman.
Yeah.
Kirkman.
That's what he intended, which is, the apocalypse doesn't end after 2 hours. I think he wrote it saying he was fed up of watching and reading and just experiencing zombie stuff, where basically it was just 2 hours of this, and he was like, well, what about the rest of it? Because it's this world. It doesn't change. It doesn't go back to a happy ending after 2 hours.
No, it's very open-ended.
I want to do a continuous series.
But that's the thing. What do you do when, because they did say in the series, no one's safe. They'll kill off anyone. So you've got cast members who died in the series.
You don't sign up for it as an actor then, because you're not going to be able to retire on it, are you?
No, of course not. Everyone knows that that major cast member is going to die.
You wait for the acts to fall.
Yeah, it's kind of, they've taken the same concept with Game of Thrones. They're saying now that characters in the TV show may die who haven't even died in the books. And it goes to its own kind of merits.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so...
I've never watched it.
Oh, God, no.
I don't mean to say, I've avoided it or anything. It's just, I have this bad rule. When people tell me something's absolutely amazing and I need to sort my life out to see it, it deliberately makes me stay away from it. So it might be the greatest thing in the world.
Oh my God. I'm not the only one who does that?
Yeah, if one more person at work says, you need to sort your life out, lady, and jump on this shit, I'll just say, piss off.
No, I've kind of...
If anyone...
Yeah, go on.
If anyone tells me to watch something more than, twice, I will not watch it. Yeah. I haven't seen any of, the Marvel Phase 2 movies, like Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, shit like that. I have not seen them because everyone...
say this. We need to see Captain America Winter Soldier. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's freaking amazing. But I can't do it. Why? Because all of my friends were literally shoving it down my throat like they were going to hog time me and force me to watch it, and I don't go for that. That's not... No.
Do you like...
I'm the same way.
Do you like the Bourne movies, Jamie? Matt Damon ones. Matt Damon!
Actually, Burhan, you've got to word it carefully. You can't say... Would you be possibly interested in? Because now we've established that if we say...
do you like those movies?
With the Bourne movies, I saw one. I think I saw the second one. And don't ask why. It was on TV. My mom and I decided to watch it. Don't ask. I actually really enjoyed it, and I've been meaning to watch the rest of them. But with my thing, it's that my fiancé works third shift.
Yeah.
And so we're, I'm alone at night during the week, and I don't like watching movies at home alone. I don't like watching movies alone. I like having a experience with other people so I can discuss it later. And,
I'm the same way.
So
I'm the complete
I can
opposite.
watch TV shows.
I like
no problem.
by myself.
No, but I do like it when someone else is with me because I can have a discussion with them after the movie's done because we can sit there and talk about it.
You need to start streaming movies.
Yes, we do that. I was doing that with Sarah. We can do it on Skype.
I was about to say, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Okay, Xander first, Dave second. Go on, Xander.
No, I was going to say I'm the same way as Jamie is about certain things being shoved in my face, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't watch The Walking Dead for the longest time. I mean, I'm pretty much the only reason I'm watching The Walking Dead now is because the other podcasts I'm a part of, they talk about it, and one of my friends got me to watch it. Other than that, though, I never watched it just because it was all over Facebook, and people talked about it so much, and people were like, oh my god, Daryl has a crossbow.
Right.
And I was like, who gives a fuck? And I was just like, why should I watch The Walking Dead when I can just read Facebook and know exactly what's going on?
Or the outrage when they were like, Daryl may be ambiguous, no one knows if he's gay or not. It's like, does it really
It's like
matter?
soap operas. You don't need to watch a soap opera. You can just walk into a newsagent and look across the news rack and know exactly what's going on with every soap.
One of the reasons I stopped watching EastEnders, plus it's because they always do something big and end up doing something really stupid. Yeah, go on.
So is The Walking Dead actually good, Xander? Is it good?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it so far. I mean, it's
okay.
There was a couple episodes I like, yeah, But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's been good. I think it's one of those shows that's really enjoyable to watch with other people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're watching it by yourself, it would not be as entertaining. But it's definitely one of those shows you want to watch with someone and be like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" And they're like, "Yes, I saw it." You know.
That's the same way I'm like with Doctor Who. I kind of watch it. I like watching it with people. I don't watch it on my own because it's one of those things you can sit there and go, "Oh, I remember when this happened. What do you think of this? Do you think that's right? Do you think he's a better Doctor?" And it just allows you to kind of have that negotiation sort of thing with friends and get.
Still not on board with the latest Doctor. Just saying, I know it's.
I am. Capaldi is a breath of fresh air. Just saying.
I don't like it.
Meh. All right. So Steve, here's another question for you. What is your favourite console growing up?
Oh, the
That's the
Mega
Mega
Drive.
Drive. Yay!
Yeah, I couldn't live without it now, yeah. I always remember when there used to be a fair in my hometown, and every year you'd have the Sega bus turn up, and I had the Master System leading up to this, and I remember the first time I saw Sonic the Hedgehog running on a Mega Drive, and I was like, I've got to have one of these.
You know what? I've got to do it. I've got to do it. The Sega bus is coming.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can I just tell Steve about my midlife crisis, which is why I'm a retro gamer?
Go for it.
When I was a wee lad, Steve, I was Captain Impatient, and when I found out that the Mega Drive was coming to the UK, I remember thinking, I'm not going to wait a year and a half, from the good old-fashioned marvellous days of Mean Machines and CPG, the Bible of gaming magazines in this country. I remember thinking, I'm not waiting a year, I will find a way. So I imported a Japanese Mega Drive. And then, going back about 3-4 years ago, I had a midlife crisis where I just went, oh Christ, I'm middle-aged. I know, I'm going to collect the exact same set of games I had as a child. So I recollected every Japanese Mega Drive game I had as a kid.
Oh,
I have achieved something with my life.
Yes, you have. And Reaper Pikachu says, but it's good. I don't... Oh, I believe she's talking... The person's talking about the whole World War Z thing. I'm not a fan of it, sorry. Game Pegasus says, I'm the opposite of all my friends. Loved Breaking Bad. Finally decided to watch it after the series ended. Avoided spoilers like a motherfucker. He said Dexter's next on his watch list. I'll say Game Pegasus, do not watch the final season of Dexter. It was terrible. It was like basically trying to pass a big bowel movement.
I tried to watch Dexter because I love that kind of stuff. Like I love, like I'm very into like the forensics, and I love stuff like House and like X-Files and like CSI and stuff like that. And so I'm like, let's watch Dexter. And his girlfriend thing in like the first season, I wanted.
That's the greatest descriptive term I've ever heard in my life.
His fancy woman?
His woman with the two kids, and I wanted to murder her. I could not stand
Rita,
it. To this day, I have not been able to watch the series because I hate her. And they're like, why? Well, she dies, and like, well, like, whatever. Like, she's gone.
John Lithgow does an amazing performance in that. And the thing is, I would say, bear with it, because when you see that big reveal, you'll be like, oh my god. But he's, the thing is, I don't watch it for his supporting cast, I watch it for him, because he's such an interesting character. He's kind of this emotionless psychopath who tries to pretend to be human.
Right.
And it's nice to watch something like that, because you're watching a character like that, and Michael C. Hall does it so well. It's disturbing, but at the same time, you want to see if he slips up. You want to see if it happens.
Yeah. I think what's really funny is like if you think about it, the main actor for Dexter, his wife actually plays his sister, and that's kind of awkward.
No, his ex-wife. They're not married anymore. He had a cancer scare.
They're not married.
That's even more awkward.
Yeah, he had a cancer scare, and then they basically before the last season they separated.
Yeah, like ex-wife now, but it was still kind of awkward.
Yeah. Go on, Dana.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing I like about Dexter is the opening where he's making breakfast. That's it.
You just sit there going, eggs.
Oh
bacon.
my god.
Yeah. I was like, it's such an appetizing opening. I'm like, man, I wanted some breakfast. And I ended up making breakfast, and I don't watch it.
You're making me hungry. Let's do this.
I used to watch it because I used to stream it when I was with the X from season 1, and I remember every time it was like midday, I was looking after the kids before on a day that I had off from uni, and I'm bouncing my little daughter on my knee, and I'm watching Dexter, and she's just looking at me going, "Are you sure she should be watching that?" I was like, "It's fine. He's just slitting the guy's throat. It's all right."
Culture.
Yeah, and my daughter's just going, "Ah." Like, yeah, you watch that psycho.
No, she grows up to be a serial killer. That's on you, Burhan.
That seriously
Or
reminds
she
me
makes
of when I was
really good
little.
breakfast.
Like, there you go. Like, that reminded me of when I was little, though. My mom tells a story when she was driving me to, she was going to work or something. She was going to drop me off with the grandparents or whatever. I don't remember now. But she thought I was asleep in the back seat. And my mom and I have always loved the Titanic. And she would fast forward through the ending so that I didn't see the sex scene. I didn't see, like, all the bodies in the water. But we watched the Titanic, and from when I was so little, like, I was supposed to be asleep in the backseat in my car seat, and all she hears randomly is, "Wake up, you bastard! Iceberg! Dead ahead!" And my mom was like, "That is the only cuss word in the entire movie, and that's the one you decide to remember."
Greatest bit in that movie is at the end when the boat capsizes. Sorry, people, spoilers. And the bloke
Oh,
falls
how
off
dare
the
you
top,
talk your spoilers, guys.
and then
Holy shit.
then hits the propeller or the turbine and just
That
goes.
was such a cool, like, oh god. Boom! Oh.
I love it. Game Pegasus goes, Burhan, a parent that would piss off Jack Thompson. Yes, I would. My
I have a
thing.
question from myself and Mr. Zander here, which I think is the elephant in the room that we have to ask Steve.
All right, go for it.
Marmite, are you a fan?
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh!
You're no longer
I
best
came on
friends.
one back
thing,
in the
huh?
gaming community about a year ago where you did the Marmite challenge.
I did it,
And,
and I didn't poo
yeah.
right for 2 days.
Fuck is Marmite?
You're not missing out on anything.
You're
Ross.
better off not knowing.
Greatest source
Yeah.
of nutrients in the world.
It actually is really healthy for you because it's got a huge source of vitamin B in it. But you won't be shitting right for 2
You
days.
really need to try it. That's the best way to stay away, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. They had that commercial where it's like love it or hate
I'm a
it.
little upset, Steve, that you don't eat it, but I'll still buy your comic. That's what a guy I am.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really bad.
So Steve, you said the Sega Mega Drive was your favourite console.
Yeah.
In terms of like your favourites, like all
Your favourite
round.
Mega Drive game?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
This
ask.
question. Yeah, sorry, I'm all excited.
Favourite
It's
Mega
Mega
Drive
Drive.
game?
What
Streets of
day
Rage 2.
Oh yes.
This was a game where you were literally having the fight in the house on who got to play the 2-player game. You know, everyone's just like we're playing this. You're literally just like, it was a game that got played so many times. You have to play it at least 3 or 4 times in the night because everybody. Oh well, you know, you get the first 2 for like my brother and my dad would play it. And then I'm going, oh well, I'll be on there now and play along with my brother. And then like, oh, Dad had to go and play it with me then. So you played the game like 3 times in an evening. It's like lovely, and it's an amazing game. It's for me. I was talking to my friend Mike about it, and he was like, it was like the closest thing you were going to get to a Final Fight game at the time.
You know what?
And I was like,
You know what?
And it has
I
the
think-
greatest music on the system.
You know what I think you would love? There's a complete version of Streets of Rage. It has 1, 2, and 3 in it. It's made specifically for the PC. It's a remastered version.
yeah,
They've
they
added-
remastered all the graphics for the first game, didn't they?
Yeah, and they've remastered the graphics on everything. So it's like it has the complete all 3 games. You play all the characters. I've got it on my PC before they got taken down by Sega because they got given cease and desist. So I have a copy if you would like.
They
it, I can
approved
give
it
to
as
you.
well, though. That's what annoys me about that is Sega approved it and allowed
Yeah.
it to happen, and then changed their mind.
Yeah.
And went batshit crazy over it.
I think they should have just basically distributed it. I think they should have just filed a takedown and said, look, we're going to distribute it. We're going to basically, people got to pay money for it, but we'll give you a cut for developing it. I wouldn't mind that. You know, because
I think you should round table that question, by the way, to everyone here, which is what's your favourite Mega Drive and or Genesis game?
Yeah, Xander, your favourite Mega Drive game?
Probably Castlevania Bloodlines.
Why?
Because it's awesome.
I was expecting to go, the sounds are amazing. Or
The world.
yeah, I was expecting to give you full detail, but it's like, because it's awesome. That's what you're going to get out of
It
me tonight.
is. It's a good game. It's got a good story. It's got a great soundtrack. I love the fact that it was the first like mature like est Castlevania. I mean, it had like zombies with flies bouncing off of them, and it had blood, and it was just really cool. I liked it. I think I liked it a little bit more than Super Castlevania, actually.
Sacrilege.
I know.
I love it. You know what the great thing about Super Castlevania is? I remember playing it on my Super Nintendo, and when that music kicks in, do 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 do, I was like, oh
yeah. The back of your neck stands up.
Yeah, it literally was. You know, and I had more hair back then, so you know, I had hair on my neck that stood up, not the hair on my back, and it was great. I love that game. It's one of those things you're like, and it's just amazing. But let's go to you, Jamie. What's your favourite Mega Drive game?
I've never had a chance to play either console. I don't know anyone who has one.
You know what? I'm
deprived.
When I come over, when I migrate and I come
Have
over,
a Kickstarter right now, people.
I am going to take my brother's Mega Drive. I'm going to take his Japanese Mega Drive, which is region free, and I will bring it over and I'll bring some games and we can sit down and play them. Then I'll probably have to round them back to
$1 a month will buy Jamie a Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, it's like, fuck third world countries, buy Jamie a Mega Drive.
I know.
Gonzalo?
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, Gonzalo?
Well, no, it's really short. I was going to say that I will say, and I said it in a couple of different podcasts, not just this one, but I do prefer the name Mega Drive a lot more than Genesis.
That's when it's twisted. Thank you.
Yep.
I heard a rumor, right, that it couldn't be called the Mega Drive in North America because the name was already patented by a car company.
Yeah, it's the same thing with with Star Fox over here being called Starwing because it was already patented by an Atari game, which was like 11 years old or some stuff like that.
Actually, it was already patented by a ZX Spectrum game.
Dave, what's your favourite Mega Drive game? You never told us.
This is well, it's not controversial because it's not deep or anything. But I remember when it came out, it just blew me away because everyone said it would never be as good as the SNES version. Which at this point, I got rid of my Japanese Mega Drive and had a modified UK Mega Drive after I had my Super Famicom, so I was running around in circles. But Super Street Fighter 2, the new challenges, I adore that game. For 1 year of my life, every decision made in the flat I shared with the person who rented it with me in college was based on that game, which is make a cup of tea. You make a cup of tea. All right, best 2 out of 3 on Street Fighter. Everything. Who was going to cook that night? Who was going to fucking do the laundry? Who was going to move the car? Each other's cars because they were blocking the neighbours in. Everything came down to best 2 out of 3 on Super Street Fighter 2.
All I remember is Street Fighter Gate at my house. That was it. Street Fighter Gate where my sister slapped the crap out of my brother for beating her.
And I actually have the Genesis version right now. I actually have the weird Asian version, which is a kind of weird amalgam of the UK box art design and the Japanese box art design. And the game is in a Japanese-shaped cartridge, but it's actually PAL and runs at 50 Hz. It's really weird.
So, Sting, let me ask you.
It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Let me ask you a little question again. In terms of consoles, what do you play at the moment?
At the moment, I've been playing on my DS a lot, my 3DS. Never had one before, so obviously, for my birthday last year, my missus got me that with Pokemon X on it, and I've just been hammering the hell out of that game. It's awesome.
Does the 3D work for you?
No, I turned the 3D bit off.
Oh, because
I
have a duff eye.
It does weird things with my eyes.
Yeah. Well, I have one eye that's far weaker than the other eye, so I'm assuming that's why it doesn't work. It's why I can never get those magic pictures to work.
If you keep doing it, then you're going to go blind. They keep telling you that. That's why one eye is weaker.
I know, I've already sacrificed one eye. I'll stop now. But I don't know. It really annoys me when I gave it to my twin brother and said, there you go. And he goes, it's 3D. Oh, it looks amazing. And I'm like, that's not fucking fair. I can't get it to work. It just gives me a massive headache and a nosebleed.
Benway got mine to work. Steve Benway, when I met him at Play Blackpool, he got mine to work, which was interesting.
What about your 3DS?
But I'm sure. And you know, he showed me Mario Kart on his one. He was like, you just have to have it up like that. But apparently the new one, because I was watching Johnny Millennium's video about this.
Yeah, I watched that yesterday. Apparently it works everywhere.
Yeah, it works.
It's got face or eye tracking shit or something.
Yeah. And he goes, the problem is, this should have been the Nintendo 3DS. You know, they shouldn't have tweaked it. They shouldn't have released another one. This should have been the Nintendo 3DS. Because they're kind of cheating their audience in a sense. And I kind of agree with Johnny on that one.
Yeah, I really want it, but I can't complain because I got sent mine for free by a subscriber.
I'll probably get mine when I move. That's probably. I'm not going to invest on any new products or new games or anything while I'm here now because there's no point.
Well, we talked about the previous I Got gameplay, didn't we? Which is, but where you buy your 3DS or your Nintendo handheld console now is kind of basically make sure it's where you're going to spend the rest of your life. Otherwise, you'll never be able to buy games for it. It's a handheld console that's region locked.
Yeah,
what a pile of shit.
Yeah, that's Nintendo for you. So
yeah.
So what about you, Xander? You going to get the new one yet, or are you just going to leave it be for now?
I'm waiting until they come out with some more games that make me, merit paying the extra money to rebuy another handheld. Because right now, I think it's a great upgrade, but I don't think it merits spending almost $200 for another handheld. That's $200 I could spend on other stuff. I mean, I just dropped $500 not too long ago on a PS4. So I mean, I got games to play right now. So
someone got
it's $200. If it's $200 in the States, I'm scared to ask now because we get shafted in this country. What's the UK price?
It's 160, I believe.
Oh, that's quite pricey.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the things that I don't like about it is the fact they took away the removable face plates that they have in Japan. We don't get those, and I know the reason why they did it. They did it because all of us go gaga over limited editions. We saw that with the Majora's Mask limited edition. People went freaking ape shit over it.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I mean, if they came out with removable face plates, their limited editions would be obsolete at that point because I'd just be like, I'll just buy a faceplate.
Dude, you know what you just need to do? Why don't you just soon they'll probably release it in Japan, the templates for it. So all you got to do is buy it off of eBay, remove your coverings, put the new covers and stuff, and then you'll have the removable faceplate things on it. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that would work, yeah. Or what I was telling some people, because some people were getting so freaking upset about Majora's Mask's limited edition, I was like, go on Etsy and buy some 3DS decals. That's all you need to do. And plus, you're supporting an artist, because some of these artists on Etsy make great decals that are completely, great adhesive stick-ons that you put on your 3DS. And at that point, you'll have something so rare that Nintendo didn't even make it. You'll have something your own. You can talk to the artist and be like, you know what, I want a decal of Big Trouble in Little China on my 3DS. Boom! You got Big Trouble in Little China 3DS right there.
Oh, dude, I love that. That's another thing. Steve, as an artist, how do you support yourself? Because I know this is kind of not your full-time gig. What do you do usually in the wide world? Your government job?
I work at IKEA.
Oh, cool! You're one of those guys who probably tells me how to
get free
do my
meatballs.
shelves.
Them meatballs are amazing.
No. You still pay for it, yeah? No, yeah, I work in the area where you pick up all the flat pack stuff. That's the bit I work in. So I'm down there when people want to know where to get their items. So yeah, that's what I do.
It scares me. I find it more of a maze than a store.
I love that store. It's one of my favourite places to go to because everything's so compact. I actually have expedits in my room, so I can just shovel my games in them and stuff. It's really good. It's great for space saving. I have an IKEA king size bed as well, which helps, and an IKEA sofa. I really need to stop shopping at IKEA.
IKEA sponsored Burhan already.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It does make me laugh that they have stuff which is so it's kind of it's not pricey but it's not cheap. It's kind of in the middle. And it's stuff.
Hey, do you get a discount working there, by the way?
That's something odd. Do you get a discount?
I might do.
The only reason I say that is if I worked at IKEA and I had a discount, I'd be broke all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like,
Yeah, can you put these through for me? Dave, that's enough Expedits. You can never have too many
I would
Expedits.
just live in a world of flat pack goodness.
This whole room would be
No.
tidied using Expedits. There would be no walls left, just shelving.
No, my man cave's just full of the glass cabinets.
Yeah.
Just full of them, full of Transformers and everything else. And this was like,
So that's another thing that I'm asking. You know, in terms of social media, have you looked at, like, because a lot of artists are now using Patreon and Kickstarter to kind of fund their projects. Have
Yeah.
you looked at doing something like that for your No Place to Hide?
I think Kickstarter is a really good place to look at. It's just a matter of getting this now finished. I know that is the simplest part of it now. Getting that done and getting all the word balloons in there, all the different fonts and that. And once that's there and done as a package, I can use that time during the Kickstarter campaign to actually get the contents of it sorted. And for other, because there's going to be couple of little things in there, just basically just a layout within the comic then. So yeah, Kickstarter is one of those things I was looking at when I first met you, Mike, and looking, it's still I think it's still my first port of call to try and raise money to get it printed up.
Whatever route you go, Steve, let the Retro guys know, and we'll do whatever we can to help them out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Nice one, cheers, guys.
Because I'm currently doing this Silent Hill kind of TV pilot at the moment with a few different people as well in my company and getting that worked out. And one of the things I was going to do is put it on Kickstarter, but I'm not. For me, I want to generate as much buzz as I can on the project first before we do it. And the problem is because there's a difference between people like us and people like, say, like Smosh, for instance, or bigger YouTubers like Tabuscus, who wants to sell his arse to go on Law and Order SVU for some reason. By the way, that's for the Gamergate episode, which was terrible. Toby, man, freaking have some freaking self-esteem, dude. Doing an anti-gamer bloody TV show, seriously?
Tabuscus sucks anyway.
Oh, he does. He used to be good, but then it's just, ugh. But yeah, he really let. It's like I had a shred of respect for him, and then he did that episode, and I was just like, "You're a whore. You literally are a whore. You might as well be selling his arse on street corners. Seriously, doing that weird little Tabascus voice." But
he'd make a killing in Bristol if he did.
He probably would. He's probably got a deep throat. Anyway, the fact is, there's a difference between people like us and people like them. They've got a load of more subscribers. If they basically done a Kickstarter, you know that they would be able to use their fan base to kind of raise that kind of money. But they don't need it, in a sense, as well, because they get a lot more in terms of their YouTube views and their subscriptions and their T-shirt sales and stuff, which kind of pisses me off, the reason why they would do it in the first place. And with people like us, we kind of don't have that much of a fan base to warrant it in the same way. So I'm kind of doing off the box stuff. I'm going to cons now to kind of pitch the project at the cons, going door to door to raise funds that way as well. Because I found out recently that in the UK they've got a thing called a peddler's license, so you actually have to get licensed to go door to door.
I love that phrase, by the way.
Peddler's license. Apparently, it's a very old age thing. People used
Sounds
to
like
do
you're
it.
a drug runner.
Yeah, and the only thing, the funny thing in the terms and conditions, the only thing I'm not allowed to sell are drugs and rat poison and knives. Shake hands with the steak knife. Yeah, shake hands with the steak knife. Ah! Handle first, handle first, handle first. Simpsons reference. And but that's the thing.
Only before, mate.
The funny thing about it is you've got to literally look at what kind of audience you have before you can actually like push things like that. And it's a shame because I think your project's got a lot of legs. I think it's something that's very unique, and I think that when it comes to independent artists like yourself, you don't get much support over here in the UK, very much. because we're kind of in that whole mentality of, oh, you need to work for your money, so you need a full-time job. Why don't you pay for your fucking hobby with that? Which is
that's just as much in the States too. Yeah. You look at the Game Chasers; they're always getting shot on.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you look at it and you think, okay, how can I make this more unique to me, and how can I make this work? And I think your project should get off the ground. It should be something bigger than what it's perceived as, and I think it needs to. For someone like yourself, once you get the leg up, I think everything else will come into place. I see you in the same position as someone else who's been on the show, Mega Ran, who's now doing it amazingly well. He's got a new album out, Soul Veggies. By the way, nice little segue on that. And what we're going to do, guys, we're going to play that in a little bit, actually. Give these guys a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back, have some gaming news, and then do our sound-offs. So we'll be right back, and I'm going to be playing this lovely track from Soul Veggies. I've just got to figure out what track I'm going to play, because that's me. So that you guys can.
And I'm going to take a slash that's so big the Thames will rise by 2 inches.
Yes, he will. And we're going to be playing. It's basically from Mega Ran and Storyville. It's from the Soul Veggies album, and we are going to play "Waste My Time."
You better put your helmets on and your Michael Jackson gloves. Come on. Whoa! I'm trying to live my life. If you hate in my way, stay on the side. Get your hands up high. If you don't know hope, get your ass to the side. Whoa! Get your hands up high. Oh. Can I lay it down a little bit like this? Come on. Whoa! It might tickle you absurd that my word vernacular got your arms perpendicular, vertical to the floor. I give it my all and give it the give and go, but people demanding more, so I gotta answer the call now. Pirate is demanding juice, get the hand is loose. My music ain't fucking free, I ain't Sandra Flute. Air masses pan and boom, they can gladly move and stand to the side of the room as I come through.
The story of my life, I'm pouring it through the mic, and it's obviously something not everyone's gonna like. I used to be so concerned with whose head I can turn, but the teacher had to quit before he had finally learned. It wasn't about the fame, it wasn't the accolades, I wasn't being a slave to any money I made. I longed for your respect, possibly more than breath, but I took the long step. Now I'm living with no regrets, and it didn't come overnight. My demons are overthrown, surfing the undertow, and the blessings have overflowed. Out on the open road, got me a running start. Link's awakening, now I found me 100 hearts. I play a wonderful part if all the world's a stage. Wrote the book on heartbreak, then turned the page. You can't tell me nothing, don't call it a comeback. Been there, done that, got the shirt plus hat.
And no, already know them. I put my whole in it before delivered donuts. My soul already glowing, a halo around my presence and aura around my essence, like I'm bioluminescent. I shrugged off the false hopes and dreams of stardom. I got down to business and things went much farther. The concept of overnight success is a mess. It go as quick as it come, I never won the rest. I always escalate, I never reach my apex, and I don't need wardrobe, makeup, special effects. Ain't no mystery, I'm just Mr. Me. Ain't no gold on my neck, no Mr. T. I'm in good company, but no misery. I'm not in Zulu Nation, but I'm in a busy bee. I'm on my honeycomb with the sugar I collected, so I own my own records, and it tastes so very sweet.
Shout.
That was an amazing track from the album Soul Veggies by Mega Ran and Storyville. They're currently touring the album at the moment, so make sure you head over to megaran.com to check out where they are in your area and make sure that you sign up. Buy the album now. If you're a Kickstarter backer of his project Megalomania, you can get the album for a very nice 30% off. I got it for that price. It was actually quite funny because I was talking to Mega Ran about it. He was like, hey dude, I would have given you a copy of the album. I was like, no, I pay because I support you. I'm awesome that way. And the track was called Waste My Time, which is what we're doing at the moment. We're kind of wasting time, aren't we? And what kind of going off from that, let's basically bring it back to you, Steve. So do you think the kind of the viability is you basically creating awareness and then going on to kind of like Kickstarter and stuff like that and building the comic strip? Or you could even look at another idea of actually even releasing it as kind of panels for a webcomic.
Yeah, there's the webcomic part of it. I was speaking to an old friend of mine, Barry Ashcroft. He was talking to about he does a lot. He used to do a lot of this kind of thing, like from a production point of view. And he was asking if ever wants to try and turn this into a webcomic format, that he'd be able to steer him in the right direction of how to construct those.
Yeah,
I mean, at its basic content, I would at least just try and just get the page just straight up there. But I've seen a couple of webcomics which zoom into each of the panels and bring, which would be a nice thing. But I think if we can just get the comic there, because the style of it itself, the style of it is very, it's a black and white.
I was just going to ask quickly, is it black and white or is it colour? But you just had
black and white all through, yeah. There's one splash page where there's grey tones in there, where there's more. It's just one of those little things I was playing with. So just from a printing point of view, I'd have to see what that would do to actually getting printed out if it was to keep that in there, if it affects the printing.
Got any old moments where we had to turn the comic sideways and have a double splash page?
No, there's none of those at the moment.
And I'm assuming you can draw feet as well. Sorry.
Oh, I absolutely hate drawing feet.
Really?
It's the one thing on the human body I can't stand. If I could cut my own off now, I would do. Absolutely.
Feet
hate
and hands.
Yeah,
so
feet and hands.
Then when I've got to draw them, it's like, oh.
Yes, but Jamie, if you cut off hands, then you won't be able to
But feet and hands, you don't understand how horrible it is to try and draw feet and hands. And if you try to draw them,
to cut off your hands,
babe, I know.
I've
done illustration myself.
One.
It's
draw one.
Particularly annoying. Plus the fact I've
you
got
draw
monkey
one.
hands. So
yeah, like you draw one, and then you look over and you're like, "Fuck, now I gotta draw the other one." And you draw the other one, and then that one looks like shit. So you erase it and you try to draw it again. Well, that doesn't work.
I'm not a comic book artist, so
and it's just
you could probably answer the question a lot better, and you're far more gifted than I am, Jamie. But let me tell you the trick I use to drawing hands: always hold a gun. It's easy then.
I cannot draw weapons. I've tried.
Just keep them clenching. That's how it works.
Yeah, writing angry characters.
Yeah, just have angry characters, or just
the future of art.
You either just keep them holding guns or have them holding a penis, just for no reason.
Oh no! Or you do Spider-Man thwippy fingers, because everyone can draw thwippy fingers.
I'm incapable of drawing like males and weapons, so all I can draw are like females.
Well, you know
I don't
what?
see a problem with that,
I'm
though.
kind of the same way. I can only draw males. So maybe we should do stuff together. That
There you
sounds
go.
so rude.
I demand a round table for a later video where everyone draws someone with hands and feet, and we compare.
That sounds like we're comparing dick sizes, Dave. And speaking of that, let's go on to our lovely little news session. So we'll do our news bit. I'm just going to find our news. Our news.
I got some news.
You've got some. I like it. I got some fucking news.
Yeah.
I have to give you a quick Mr.
Okay.
Xander.
Xander.
Thank you for putting me in the direction of Shovel Knight. It's quite possibly the greatest game I've ever played.
Thank you.
It's so freaking awesome.
So going on from that, Xander Scullion, what's in the news this week?
Well, I think this would be a good news segment and a good little discussion because, as you guys know, on Tuesday, Sony had just released The Order. And this has become a big flack because The Order supposedly is only about maybe 5 hours worth of gameplay, and a lot of people are getting pissed off at it. All I can say is, where the fuck were you guys when Ground Zeroes came out? And I made a video saying I wasn't going to support a retailed 2-hour video game that was pretty much a glorified demo.
Yeah.
But then I remembered it was Hideo Kojima, and it was Konami, and it was Metal Gear Solid, and that's going to be welcomed by open arms. I am a Metal Gear Solid fan, but I did not support that, and I still have not gotten that game.
Did you see?
But here's the thing.
Did you see the meme I put up on it?
No, I didn't.
There's basically the box art. There's this thing called basically Honest Video Game Box Arts. It's got Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain tech demo by Hideo fucking Kojima.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny though because all these people are really getting upset about it. Now, I will say this: for one, I don't mind short games because honestly, I don't have the time to put into a lot of games that are 40 plus hours. A good game for me would be a 13-hour game.
Yeah, you're not a completionist, basically. You're not one of those people who would do all the side quests and stuff in order to get a good ending. You're kind of I've completed it, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I like to just play a little game and, that's it. I don't feel like I'm committed to anything. But, I mean, supposedly, this game, has too many
doesn't marry his
cinematics.
games, people.
This game has too many cinematics, has too many quick time events. It's just, a lot of people are disappointed with it. And it just boggles my mind because this is stuff that's been going on for the last 10 years in gaming. And it's people just all of a sudden woke up and they're like, holy shit. We get more of a movie than a video game. I'm like, why do you think so many people are going to retro games now? Because they like to play video games. These are glorified movies, pretty much, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But, I mean, it's just, to me, it's about as equivalent as when Majora's Mask came out last week. There were a lot of people that were upset because Majora's Mask didn't come with a booklet. And I love the fact that, games used to come with booklets. I love booklets. But when was the last time we had a game that came with an actual booklet?
Saying that, if you're a big gaming fan, you like your indie games. I only found this out from a gaming historian. There's a thing that's like Loot Crate, and it's called Indie Game Box. And what it does, it gives you your favourite indie game on a memory card, and it gives you a Steam key. And it has it in that retro-like box, like an NES box. And you open up the box, and it's got all these little stuff with it to do with the game, like keychains, stickers.
We are English. It's called NES. Sorry.
But you know what I mean, Dave.
So checking this out.
Yeah, and it has all these little extras to it, and it's you pay $15 a month, and what it is they all give you one game a month from this lovely selection of games, and you can actually buy old boxes as well to get those games, and it does pretty much what the old games used to do. It has a box, it has a booklet, it has everything that you would expect with the game. And it's really nice, especially for those who are kind of collection hogs, who want to collect their downloadable games. You can actually, games that are on Steam, you can get them as part of this and put them on your shelves, and it looks really, really nice. But I do agree with you.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Yeah.
I do agree with you on the whole hate of The Order. I think it's unwarranted. I think people need to grow the fuck up. You can't give Hideo Kojima a pass because he's Hideo fucking Kojima. Right, for putting
unfortunately, a lot of people did. I don't agree with it, by the way.
No, but you can't do that, and then, especially because the fact that he kind of, he kind of was being very hypocritical on himself, because then he released the PT demo, which was practically the same as Ground Zeroes. Do you know what I mean? It was a free demo.
The funniest thing about Ground Zeroes,
I'm embarrassed about is I actually bought it. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, Xander?
I have a very funny thing to talk about with Ground Zeroes, and the fact that it was pretty much a milking scheme.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because if you watch the beginning trailers, like the beginning previews to Ground Zero, I mean not Ground Zeroes, but Metal Gear Phantom Pain, that's Ground Zeroes. They were showing people previews to Ground Zero, not Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
And then they released a 2-hour demo. and people paid $40 for it. And here's the funny thing: some people on my YouTube, they were defending it, and some people were like, "Oh, it's not a 2-hour game because I've been taking my time with it and looking at the scenery." And I'm like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That'd be like me.
Excuse ever.
That's like buying a $40 burger and saying it's not a $40 burger because I'm taking my time eating it.
I'm sorry I was stuck in a traffic jam for 4 hours this morning, but I got to look at the coast.
Yeah, but Xander, you've actually got your first. Someone's kind of saying that you're not you're wrong, but he's kind of giving you a little rebuttal. His name's David Starskia, who says everyone was raging about Ground Zeroes to his memory. The people we talked to, especially on the Happy Console Gamer forum, most of them weren't raging about it. They were like, well,
One of my most controversial videos ever was when I made a video called Games You Felt Truly Ripped Off With, and I talked about that. And some guy in the comments section just kept coming after me and just going, I like short games, they're brilliant, because, you don't have to invest your life into them. And I said, well, I'm assuming by that logic, or you don't feel ripped off having spent 40 quid on a bloody game that only lasts fucking, if you're good at it, 19 minutes.
Well, Xander...
I said to him, which is... Like, why don't you... Well, that's how you stand on this subject of not feeling that you've been ripped off. I'm assuming that when you buy a washing machine, you only expect it to last 6 months. You went, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. I went, no, it is the same thing. You just defended a game that basically ripped us off. Yes, granted, I bought it because I was a plum, but... And he was just, no, it's not the same. I went, no, but you're basically arguing that it was good value for money. It's a tech demo. It does everything in your house only last 3 weeks, and you're happy. And then I ended up blocking him because he started trolling me.
Xander, so remember when you did that video on Ground Zeroes, how many trolls you got? Because his video got a lot of views, but he got a lot of heat over the fact that he said that Ground Zeroes was an overglorified, demo.
Yeah, I got last time I checked, it's still over 4,000 views, and it's probably next to my Angry Video Game Nerd movie review.
You got heat on that one as well.
You got so much heat over that, undeservedly, by the way. But
yeah, that was probably my 2 most disliked videos. But the thing is the people that would White Knight Ground Zeroes just made me laugh hilariously, because I remember this one guy was like, "Oh, it's $40, when I go out, downtown and spend time with my friends, I spend that much, drinking one night." So, and I'm like, or here's a novel idea: why don't you get the game on Redbox for $1 a night and save the $39 and still go out and get wasted with your friends and still beat the game?
Yeah, it's
the best of both worlds.
I refused to buy it. I still refuse to buy it. I'm probably may get it on pre-owned.
I think I might have to do a gameplay of it tonight after this.
But it's one of those where I feel, because when I looked at it, I was just like, the sigh that came out of my mouth as soon as they were like, we're releasing this part. And my brother was going to get it for me for my birthday, and I went, don't buy it, don't waste your money. Get me the Legend of Zelda instead for the 3DS.
The main reason why I did it was because I was saying that I wasn't supporting it, because to me, if I was to buy the game, it was going to give the developers a sign that we were going to buy these short, glorified demos, and that's pretty much what's happened. I mean, the order and these short games are coming out that are, very, very pretty, and then mind you, they get downgraded before they come out, because the order was downgraded. That's exactly what it's doing, and I think that's the biggest problem. The biggest thing I have with gaming and people is the fact that they don't realize that we are the consumers. Yeah. We're the ones that put the money in the devs' pockets. We're the ones that were like, okay, you can keep doing this. You don't like DLC? Quit buying it. You don't like HD remasters? Quit buying it. You don't like these short games? Quit buying them. When these people start saying, hey, I can't afford these things, I can't afford to keep making these games, or our company's going down, then they will change what they do. That's what they do naturally anyway, is adapt to the consumers.
Capcom's been trying to do that at the moment after they did the RE.
Vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet.
Pretty much. Steve, what do you think about this? What do you think, Xander's right here, do you think games like Metal Gear Ground Zeroes shouldn't be made, and that people should stop complaining about the order because it's being hypocritical?
For me, it's always about replay value of a game. I mean, I fully agree with when you're paying £40 for a game that's only it's a big chance nowadays to spend that kind of money on a game that you may only play once. So I agree with the idea of renting. If you know it's a short game, rent it out for the night. Use that. Use your money wisely on something like that. Because it still takes me back to that whole kind of Streets of Rage 2 thing. You replay the game time after time. These all retro games, all the older games didn't rely on like 2-hour cinematics and that. Yeah. And it was there's lessons to be learned there. I don't see any problems. I'm not saying just completely remake the games because. Michael, you know full well how I feel about people doing remakes all the time.
Yeah,
totally. It's like for me that is one thing that always puts me off a lot of modern games is the price of them.
And I agree. It's totally a lot when it comes down to is because you don't get that bang for your buck anymore. When I did. I do, for those of you who don't know, I do reviews on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/.
You said do, sorry.
Do. youtube.com/TheNerdGenius, which is where we're currently streaming at the moment. Due to Time Warner deciding...
Warner Bros. Being wankers.
Yeah,
sorry.
Burhan and the Boy. Basically, I do reviews called A Rather British Review, and when I do those reviews, I talk candidly about games that I like and I don't. And I spoke very candidly. There's a couple of reviews I've got on there which a lot of people comment on. One of them is the Way Forward review that I did for the Adventure Time game, which people love because it reminds me of an old-style retro game. It's really hard, it doesn't hold your hand, and the amount of replay value in this game is unlimited. It made yourself, Dave, it made you go out and buy the game.
Yeah, you talked me into buying that game, and now I don't know if I should punch you in the face or hug you, because I'm torn between loving it, but also swearing massively at the telly and dropping my controller in an angry fashion.
Yeah, and it's because the fact the game is super hard. And it goes back to that whole kind of retro style when it comes to these games that used to play on the NES. They weren't very long games. Like, if you remember Ghouls and Ghosts, for instance, they weren't very long games, but they were...
Sorry, I just had a flashback to being little Ickle Dave then and swearing massively at the TV and dropping my controller. But it was a CRT telly then.
But it was extensively hard. So the game, you got a lot more bang for your buck. When I paid £40 for a game for their Super Nintendo, I got my bang for my buck. I could complete a game within 20 to 30 hours and be satisfied. Even though I could, one of my proudest cartridges, and it still works, is my Super Mario World cart, which has full 100% completion on the game, with little me getting barely any sleep, looking like I was going to be on death's door, with my dad going, oh, he's fine. And Mum's like, I'm worried. He hasn't slept in 3 days.
I heard the video games are the new crack. We should probably stop Mini Bar.
I was like, you need to eat your dinner. It's like, I will in a minute. I got to finish this level. And but she was just looking at my dad like, you fucking bought him that shit. But it was one of those things where it literally I was engaged. And I think for me, a lot of games that come out
the greatest descriptive term ever.
It was engaged.
You were video games.
You were immersed in the game, and a lot of games that come out recently, like Ground Zeroes, I wouldn't be immersed in that. And the reason being, I find that once it's completed, I'll put it down. I'm kind of like Xander on that fact. And there's very much there's not very many games out there that would put me on there and hook me, and say
they got rid of David Hayter, and there's not enough famous David people in the world. So I was really upset with that.
He was the Guyver in the Guyver live action movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you ever want to watch David Hayter doing some acting, check him out on that.
I thought that was Mark Hamill.
No, Mutronics and Guyver Dark Hero was David Hayter.
Nice.
Mark Hamill played
people remember.
Mark Hamill played the
Mark
cop.
Hamill was the cop in it, wasn't he?
He was the cop with the porn stash who ended up turning into a slug on the floor going, and then dying. I just sat there, I was like, poor Hamill. And nobody, anytime someone does a review on that, they never actually say that it was David Hayter. That's one of the things I got really pissy with the Nostalgia Critic about, because he did a review about that movie.
You know why, don't you, though? Because people hate David. Sorry.
But I'm sure. But yeah, it's... For me, I don't support the fact that these kind of practices, because you complain that you're not getting the bang for your buck, but you're then sitting there and going, well, it's Hideo fucking Kojima. He deserves a pass. He doesn't.
You're supporting the fail, basically.
Yeah, he's a game developer like anybody else, and and I know Konami. Hopefully, they're not listening to this because otherwise, I'm going to probably be in trouble. But it's one of those things as a gamer.
And on their bitch, as you know now, I can only do gameplay videos with Konami if they put adverts on my videos. So I'm Konami's bitch, so I can't say anything bad about them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you've got to look at it and say, is this the best business practice? And it's not. You can't give PT away for free and then do Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, which is it's a playable tester. You can't do that. That's not the way that you do things. It's the same reason why we don't tolerate Ubisoft for giving us broken games. Releasing...
It's a salad before your steak, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's something that you can't really do. Now, going on from that, Azan, have you got any more little bits of news for us?
That was about it. Other than the fact that someone's selling a Majora's Mask new 3DS console that they put in the microwave, and they're making about $11,000 on eBay on it.
Why did they put it in the microwave? What the fuck is wrong with people?
It's art. It's art, Burhan. You don't understand.
Xander, if I bought
turnip pride, it's going to win the turnip prize.
If I bought a copy, inserted it up my arse, and then excreted it into my toilet, do you think that would be art?
I think it would.
No.
I think it would show a lot more dedication than throwing... I think it would show a lot more dedication than throwing something in a microwave. I mean, it was just so fun. They even made a video about it. At first, I mean, I saw it and I was just like, this has got to be fake. And then they made a video about it. But the thing about it is, it's like either they're going to get the money, or this was pretty much one of those eBay posting like they did with the Nintendo tournament edition cart, where someone posted on eBay and everyone started posting on it, and they got up to like $30,000 and no one actually paid. I don't know.
The thing is, though, right, you said it was, he's either going to make his money or make art, or possibly he'll get cancer from the toxic fumes of putting that in the microwave. Don't do this at home, people, by the way. Do not do this at home, but I'm not going to lie, it's one of the greatest things you'll ever see in your life. Put a CD upside down in the microwave. Oh, it's like fireworks. Brilliant. No, seriously, like a bolt of lightning comes down from the top of the microwave, then the entire disc goes like Terminator 2 time travel thing, with green like electricity, and then you open the door and you basically age 10 years.
Okay, who wants to go, Do you want to tell you some news that make you just go,
Oh.
One of the world's biggest memes of Kanye West kissing himself is not the only problem we're going to have with Kanye West. The reason being is Kanye West is making a video game.
Oh, fuck me sideways, Susan.
Hold on, but by making a video game, do you mean somebody's making it for him and his name's on it?
Kanye West is making a video game about his mother and heaven.
What?
Oh, what the fuck? I just drooled on myself. That's how virulent what the fuck was then.
How did you find that exciting?
I didn't find this exciting. I find this completely opposite of exciting. And there's a picture of him smiling.
I'm on about droolery.
Following the footsteps of his wife Kim Kardashian, Kanye West is creating a video game. And at the end of the interview at the Breakfast Club, Kanye announces he's currently in production of a video game for his song Only One, about his mother. The video game, you are a guide in his mother at his highest gates of heaven by holding her to the light. Yes, it sounds every bit as weird as you think it is. And yes, Kanye is serious about this. Is he even
I feel the
smoking?
need to roll up a newspaper and hit him in
Dave,
the face and
I
say,
think
stop.
he's...
You know what I want to do? I want Kanye to go ahead and put out this video game, and I want to be at some sort of like press conference, like some sort of convention, when he's introducing this game and everyone's been like, oh my god, a Kanye West game. I just want to come out of nowhere and be like, Kanye, I think you have a really good video game, but I have to say Mega Man 2 is a lot better.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I just want to be in the fucking press conference when he goes, any questions from the floor? And I sheepishly raise my hand and go, I have a question, Mr. West. Why is it shit and what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh no, it gets even better. According to Kanye, the game has been in development for the past 6 months. As he talks about the origins of the song's name and what the meaning of the name is. The group immediately
You're making this up, Burhan, I'm sorry.
No, I am not. The group immediately switches back to the conversation of the Grammys and his performance. Hardcore
you can't make shit up like this.
Hardcore Gamer is reporting this, and the video is on here as well from Power 105.1. There wasn't any news as what platform the game will be available on, but we can assume it's mobile, and you'll be holding her hand to the light. I literally cannot make this shit up. I'm going to be posting it on my Facebook timeline, on the I Got Gameplay timeline, and I'll post it in the chat here for each and every one of you guys. There are no words that can.
I would be sick in my mouth many times.
I think it's going to be just as great as the video that he directed. Do you remember that
you know
one?
what it is, don't you?
Do you remember that one when he was in love with the griffin?
He's making the new Shaq Fu.
Do you remember that one when he was in love with that griffin? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That big music video thing where his acting was so crappy that it just. Kanye, stick to your day job. That's all I've got to say to you. And you're not really that credible in that anymore either, because after. I don't know what the fuck you're rapping about these days.
I think we should have a round table and everyone gets to address Kanye right now.
Well, I think the game would be a lot better if it wasn't about his mom, but it was about Beyonce.
And a Grammy Award.
Yeah, I was just to say, Beyonce had, the best video game of all time. So, yeah.
Kim Baby, I know you were good, but, Beyonce has the best video game of all time. And she'd be like, honey, but I do stuff. Yeah. But, the funny thing is
saying is there's a bonus level where you get to chastise Taylor Swift.
The worst thing about it is his wife's video game has managed to surpass 100 million downloads.
Yeah, and it's fucking horrible, too.
The
game is literally just a point, and it's so horrible. The reason
why it makes its money is because of advertising revenue, because it's free. The game is free, but it has little adverts on it. But for me,
Kanye, stick to selling sunglasses.
Dude,
other than that,
I saw 5 minutes of the gameplay of that Kim Kardashian game, and I wanted to kill myself. I was ready to get a bottle of liquor and just drink myself into oblivion when I watched that. I was like, my God, this would make a crad addict overdose. It would make someone jump out a fucking window. Kanye, seriously, look, I don't know if you need mental help. If you do, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Jay-Z could talk to you about how this is a bad idea. I don't know.
Don't hate the game.
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Just saying, by the way, has anyone ever seen Kanye and Jay-Z in the same room at the same time?
I was saying, have you ever seen Beyonce and Jay-Z in the same room at the same time? I haven't. Same. Jay-Z in a wig. So, Steve, what do you think of this?
It sounds like a joke at first, to be fair. It's always the same when you say Kanye West is releasing a game. He's not making it, let's be honest. Somebody's going to come forward and say, this is a game we've made for you, Kanye.
No, they're not. I don't think anyone...
I don't understand. What is the concept of the game again?
To guide his mother into heaven. Gaming Pegasus says he's going to add a level that is anti-Montana after his dirty, disgusting, bottom-feeding trash bag horrible wife crashed the Bozeman earlier today. Is one level all about gay fish? Fuck Kardashian game. You couldn't pay me to play that shit. This is Gaming Pegasus who's saying this stuff. You know what? The thing is, I think between him and his lovely wife, Kim, most of her talent stems from the fact that she managed to do a sex tape.
Have a sex tape, yes.
Yeah, and
that's not fame. That's called a tragic train wreck that accidentally got aired, and now you're milking it forever.
And her mum pimps her. Her mum's her agent. That's the worst thing about it. I remember my ex-wife once. Yeah, one of the things that made my ex-wife made me look at her in the eyes and say, I love you so much, was when she just stood there and looked at the TV and went, Kim Kardashian is my hero.
What?
Yeah, that didn't make me regret divorcing you. So, yeah.
Did Gucci appear?
I could easily redo Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You could keep the name and just have, them running down the street and have somebody in a steamroller going after them.
I think when she said that, Burhan, if I was you, I would have waited for fucking,
don't even get
say,
started.
Can I leap now, please? Can I leap now, please?
I just looked at her and I was like, she goes, Kim Kardashian's a strong, powerful feminist, and I just looked at her and went, Can't
She's a
believe-
whore.
I just looked at her and just went, oh my god, I just gotta go. I'm going home now, and I can't look at you at this point in time. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, you're raising my daughters.
Did you look at the fourth wall camera and go, oh boy?
Oh dude, I wish I could freaking leap. If my last leap was the leap home, that would be brilliant. Then I knew I wouldn't be off this time. I was just sitting there looking.
Kardashian and people fucking... I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but hey, you brought up Kim Kardashian, not my fault.
that how
Young
she
girls in
said?
primary schools look up to her. What the fuck?
I know. I don't understand it. Jamie, do you want to say anything about this? I think
Say one swear word when you picture Kim Kardashian.
Well, it wouldn't be fuck.
I was just going to say,
Because
do
no.
not say the C word. Actually,
I
you can
don't say
the
that.
C.
That's the only word I don't say, actually.
Oh god,
Um,
I've got the news report here. Go on, continue.
The only thing that, I can't even, there are no words. The only thing that Kim Kardashian to me has, accomplished is the fact that I am very concerned for her figure because I am not quite sure how she stands up because of her
She
boob
looks
to
like
ass
when
ratio.
you go to the museum and you see one of those weird funny mirror things.
I love the
That's,
fact
that's
she's like,
my ass is not that big.
yeah, she's like, my ass isn't
God.
fake, my body is real. I was like,
But
really?
as a proud, strong, talented, and genuine female, if you could have one sentence to say to Kim Kardashian, what would it be?
Oh my
Oh God.
Mine
I
would
think
be
if
get
I-
away from me. Where's the
Go ahead,
weapon?
you're not
think
a
if I
proud,
had-
strong, young female.
I could be.
If I had one sentence to say to Kim Kardashian, I would probably look at Kanye, look at her, look at Kanye, look at her, and just look at her and go, why? And then just walk away. That is the only thing I would say is why.
This woman makes money
And-
off of having failed marriages. That's scary.
Although there was a backlash, though, against her mobile phone campaign, or advertisements in this country, which is, everyone deserves the right to have free roaming and decent data a month, so they can selfie. And it got torn apart. And I don't think the mobile phone company, I forget who it was it 3? Understood why it got torn apart. It wasn't because they didn't find the joke funny, which it wasn't. It was because everyone hates her. Because she's a shallow, callous idiot who has no fucking credibility or talent whatsoever and is a stain against feminism.
She makes me want to go into psychiatry. I could just sit there and just tell my psychiatrist, life's not fair. Why has Kim Kardashian got loads of money and I'm sitting here
Yeah.
broke? Barely being able to afford a kebab. Please tell me. Oh,
Just
God.
$1 a month buys Mr. Burhan.
And a kebab. But yeah, $1 a month will make Mr. Burhan get fat. Go and help him. And Game Pegster says, yeah, I asked exactly, what does that bring to society besides being a bad role model to people everywhere? I agree. And apparently...
See, that's the worst thing. He's touched upon it there, but though it's the worst thing because somehow she's considered a role model. Holy fuck, how does that happen? That's fucking Zool from the end of Ghostbusters,
You know
right there.
what?
Someone's crossed the
I
fucking
would
street.
I would clearly consider Emma Watson a strong female role model in comparison to Kim Kardashian.
Yes. Yes.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, we'll leave that to that, shall we? Any more news, guys, before we wrap up the show?
I have something.
Go for it, Jamie.
Rooster Teeth just released their video, the teaser trailer for their movie Laser Team. And basically they started a Kickstarter last year, and they raised more than enough money in a month, which was fantastic. And they've actually made their own full-length feature film with better cameras and everything than what they better editing and everything than what they do on their normal shorts. And from what I can understand, it's going to be coming out in select theaters. And I'm really excited to see it. It actually looks pretty good. It's about there's an alien invasion that's happening, and these 4 like dorks, geeks, and just like completely just horrible, just people who you would not expect find that they're going to battle these aliens.
You mean basically everyone who watches this podcast?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so
I did like the fact where the girl was stripping and he's just sitting there with the laser cannon arm. I was just like,
yeah. And he just like, oh, this is fantastic. I fucking love Michael. Like, oh my god. But he like, I was very, very, very impressed with the trailer. I gotta admit, I don't care. I do like their shorts, but I don't care too much. I feel like their comedy on the shorts themselves, they try to make it really funny. And so it feels like they try to cram too much into like a 5-minute short. But the movie itself looks like it's going to be paced out really well. The graphics and film looks fantastic. I am super excited to see this. I cannot wait.
Well, I'll say to each and every one of you out there, if it is in select theatres near you, make sure you stay close to Rooster Teeth using their selected Facebook, Twitter links. Check on their website as well, and also their YouTube channel. And if it is available in your area, go see it. If it's not, demand it to be in your selected theatre, or support them by purchasing the movie on DVD or Blu-ray. It's the best thing for it. And in that news as well, I'm going to give you guys some Silent Hill news today. We are currently doing a casting. We're going to be doing an open casting for Silent Hill Genesis. It's a TV pilot I'm currently working on with Xander Scullion and a team of others. We've currently casted 3 different cast members, including Maggie Maddock, who is going to be Jodie Whittaker, aka Jodie Mason. In there, we've got Harry Mason cast as James Doherty. As well, Rob Mann, aka Rob Thrift, is going to be playing the mayor of Silent Hill as well. A gentleman by the name of Rob McGinnis is going to be a totally new character for it as well. And we've just basically found our Alessa. Basically, we've got our very own Jamie Stiles. Congratulations, Jamie.
And they were awesome pictures, by the way.
Thank you.
Who she's going to be playing.
Thank you.
She's going to be playing our basically 13 to 14-year-old Alessa in our pilot. So I want to give a great
and
big
don't forget,
shout out.
people, I'm a peeled baby.
Yes, Dave tells people that when he's out on the street a lot, and it's worrying.
I
It's why me and Dave don't go out together. It's like, hey, you, I'm a peeled baby. I'm a peeled baby. And I'm like, he's special. It's fine. I'm only
He's
joking.
not
Dave.
special. He's just very proud to be supportive of you and be
You
a
are.
peeled baby.
I do love you, Dave. But yeah, guys. Basically, the pilot's in its final stage at the moment. I'm currently writing for it. I'm also going door to door for the pilot itself. We're getting posters made for the show as well as other stuff. The site is going to be up and running. I'm doing a lot of this stuff myself, so it's taking a little bit of time. And we are also going to be debuting our Kickstarter for the project in May, when I will be actually showing the project off at a con. I'm not going to say what the con is. I'm currently in talk stages at the moment to do a panel on the TV show itself. If you want to audition for the cast, you can do. If you email me at Michael Burhan, that's MichaelBurhan at Enigma, enigmar.co.uk. That's Michael Burhan at enigma.co.uk, enigmar.co.uk, and give me your details, who you are. I'm looking for actors in the United States and Canada.
We need no more, by the way, people, we need no more peeled babies. I got that covered. So
9
just
different roles need to still be filled. We have 13 characters in this pilot, 9 roles that need to be filled. If you want to be a part of this, send your resumes, send your show reels. I will basically be doing callbacks for auditions, and we will be shooting this in Vancouver, Canada, so you'll need to have a passport. It will be a paid gig. So if you're an actor, you will be paid something for your trouble, and we will be paying for you to get down to us to shoot. It will be within a week that we'll be shooting this pilot. Then the pilot is going to be shot to Konami's offices in Japan, where they're going to take a final look and give us the AOK. If we get the AOK, then we can then shoot the first season, get the budget together, and then shop it to networks. That's the plan. Now, if you want to support it, wait for the Kickstarter to come up and running. The website's going to be up soon. It's SilentHillReturns.com. That will be up. Make sure that you support it. Make sure you support the project, and make sure you support independent film. And again, congratulations to Jamie, and congratulations to everybody who has been cast so far. Wait for more casting announcements as they follow. And I am currently looking at doing every possible way that I can to raise funds. I've got to raise 150k for this project to get the pilot up. It doesn't seem like much, but trust me, trying to get money from people is like trying to get a blood from a stone. It's unless you can prove or someone's a big fan of yours, it's very hard. And I can tell you that from our failed IGG t-shirt campaign. Now, going on from that, Steve Dix, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. So look for SteveZSK Dix, and I'm also on Twitter.
Yes, he is. And make sure you find him on there, guys. If you want to ask him about his comic book, make sure that you do. Yes, I said do. Because it's a great little project. I can't wait to see it being finished up. I want to see like a lot more time and effort being put into this, so I really hope whatever you guys can give once he does get the Kickstarter up and running, you donate. We're going to be planning something together for Play Blackpool coming up in May. So make sure that you guys are there. I'm going to be at Play Blackpool. Steve's going to be there at Play Blackpool. So we're going to be there as well. I'm also going to be selling art there from Sarah Mortimer, from Tamara Man. Hopefully when I get a hold of her, that I'll be able to basically talk to her about selling some of her prints there as well. We're going to be selling Silent Hill prints. And I'm going to also be taking donations for the campaign when I'm at Play Blackpool. So make sure that you're there. Anything you can give, any little help that you can actually provide as well. If you live in the Canada, Vancouver area, give me a shout out. If you do film and development, I'd love to hear from you, putting teams together down there as well. If you're basically someone that you feel that you could fill a role, let me know. If you're Silent Hill enthusiast, come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about it as well. Now, going on from that, you can also find me, youtube.com/TheNerdGenius. Got another Rather British review coming this Sunday. I'm basically going to be reviewing WWE 2K15 with Mr. Gaming Pegasus 187 himself, Nick Horacek, and Brandon Ligon from Slamcast. And I know you've heard from it about it for almost a year, Gaming Pegasus 187, but the thing is, it's about time. You've got to make sure that you invest the right time. I don't want it to fail. Do you know what's happened when people kind of spearhead Kickstarters and they fail? I don't want it to happen. Xander, where can we find you?
Alright, I'm on, I do my own YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/XanderScullion, and also host another gaming podcast called Excess Game Podcast. You listen to on Podomatic.com and the Retro Emblem Network, and also on Nerd Genius. Now, I'm going to be doing a video, I'm actually shooting a video tomorrow where I'm going to be talking about gaming remorse, buyer's remorse. I'm talking about games that you have in your collection that you just wish you didn't buy, but it's still there. So be sure to tune in for that.
We already covered that with me talking about Metal Gear.
Yes, I don't think I have a game that I would have buyer's remorse with. I don't think I have one. I'm looking at my collection currently. I love every game that I've ever purchased. I have to admit, there's no game that I've sit there and go meh. Even the short ones like Lollipop Chainsaw.
Watch Dogs?
I never bought it. I rented it.
Oh, well.
I played smart with that one. I rented it for 2 days, and I was just like, yeah, I'm never buying this piece of shit in my life.
It was sold out in my town. I remember telling you before you reviewed it, before you played it, it was sold out in my town.
I was going to buy a PlayStation 4 for that piece of shit. I'm so glad I didn't. Oh god, that game was. See, but I don't regret it because I rented it for £2.50 a day. Yeah, you see, give people.
Smart.
I saw smart. I didn't, I didn't do what some of you reviewers do, and that's bitch about a game because I was forced to buy it. I either get a download code from the developer or I rent the fucking game. See? I use my initiative.
This has no relevance to this whatsoever, but when I said you so smart, it just reminded me of Red Dwarf, and my brain just went, fuck! Red Dwarf 6 Marathon on Dave. Bollocks.
Retro Liberty, Jizz Wars. Don't know why. So, Jamie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Hazardous Cosplay, and I have been uploading constant work-in-progress pictures of my Neapolitan cosplay. I cannot wait for everyone to see my my progress. I'm so excited. I've almost got it done. I'm going to be wearing it at a convention this coming Saturday. And Neapolitan will be finally finished. I'm so excited. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it. I will also be doing a work in progress video. Once I complete, yes, I will, no. I will also do a work in progress video of my progress on Neapolitan. Coming up soon, I'm going to do an explanation of the wig and how I dyed that, because I've gotten so many questions about it. So I'm going to be doing an explanation video. So after that, you can find me on Etsy at Shimeji Crafts. Please go check out my charms. I'm trying to be able to sell them and make a little bit of, money so I can actually buy more stuff for cosplay. I'm going to be uploading...
That, Jamie, by the way. I think you might want to rephrase the phrase, please go check out my charms. Just saying.
Please go check out my charms. And I will be uploading more stuff to YouTube at Shimeji. I will be uploading more stuff to YouTube at Shimeji. I'm currently working on a video, writing it and trying to get it all kind of worked out, where I talk about why quote female gamers are so attractive when we're just humans. So that's going to be an interesting video, and I'm expecting a lot of horrible feedback.
Oh, I expect my rebuttal.
I was about to say, did you get that idea from that post I made on Facebook a couple of days ago?
Yes, I did actually. I did. You inspired me, Xander.
He inspires me every day.
Thank you.
It makes me want to impregnate people on the subway. Sorry.
But that's pretty much it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jay, but just if you ever come over to the UK, don't say, please check out my charms to British people, because it's not going to end well.
Well, I could just show them the picture of her as Alessa, and then they'll all think they're pervs. Because that made me feel really... I had to take a shower after looking at those pictures. I was like, my God, I found her attractive. I need to go and wash myself. I was sitting in the shower going...
Awesome. And really did look like the character.
You did.
Yeah.
And you looked really young in those photos. And it made me feel...
The timid look in your face was brilliant.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. That sounds like, oh, I like it when a woman sits in the corner and cowers. No, just the fact that you basically... Let me dig up, Dave, not down. You encapsulise the character, shall I say.
Yeah, and I took it to a Silent Hill fans forum, and a lot of them basically said the same thing, that you had the right look for the character. So, based on that, I made the decision to cast.
Now we just need to write in Xander as Sabretooth.
And also, I have to give a shout out to Chris Dace as well for helping me make that decision. But yeah, going on from that, Dave, where can we find you?
You can find me where aged unicorns go to die.
Is this your thing now?
Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, it is my thing now.
So yeah, you can also find...
we're not Slamcast.
Yeah, youtube.com/LawnBoysPost 1975. Facebook.com.
You like your retro shit? Come and check me out.
Facebook.com LawnBoysPost as well. He hasn't been shut down yet. Thank God
I know,
for
I'm
that.
quite surprised at that. I'm waiting for the Reaper to come.
Well, I'm still waiting for Tam to come back on. They've shut her down twice now.
Everyone else is dropping like dominoes around me, and my name is Lawnboys Space Post, and I shouldn't say this out loud, should I? I'm going to get the hatchet job now. Yeah, I'm waiting for fucking the Reaper to come and say, like, fuck you, Wavy. Bye!
So there you go, ladies and gents. You can find us on facebook.com/IGotGameplay. You can find us also on retrounlim.com, nerdgenius.com as well. You can find us everywhere else, basically, where podcasts are available. We've got our next episode coming next week, which is going to be a pre-tape. And the reason why it's going to be a pre-tape is because I'm going to be interviewing on Monday. I'm going to be doing this Monday afternoon, so I've got to see if any of our hosts are available to do that. A cosplayer by the name of Misty Outbreak. I met her at the Resident Evil Revelations 2 event. Very nice young lady. We're going to be talking about all things, including basically the same what we did here with Steve, about her gaming things that she likes. And also like her favourite cosplay outfits, etc. I'm hopefully going to have Jamie on when we do it. That sounds really, really creepy. And then we're going to basically have that going on pre-tape on Saturday while the rest of us get to enjoy our Saturday off. So you can enjoy that, guys. It's going to be a great for episode 115. And then for 116, I have another special guest, but I'm not going to tell you who it's going to be. So you've got to wait for that.
You sexy bastard.
Yeah, and I spoil you people. I really do. You know, we've got Steve here who does his amazing comic book. We've got gorgeous cosplayers by like Misty Outbreak, and Jamie Styles going to be on the show. We've got Also, the sexual voice of Stan the Scullion on the show as well, and just makes your hearts flutter. And we also have Dave Waved and his rather sexy kebabs. Dave.
I got nothing compared to everyone else. Sorry,
if your kebabs were a woman, I swear people would fuck them. Now, let's going on from there. This is Michael Burhan saying for Xander Scullion.
Can I quickly just say, by the way, Steve, thank you so much. It was an absolute brilliant, honor.
You're welcome, guys. You're all welcome.
It's great having you on the show, Steve, and I've got to talk to you about the Silent Hill stuff later on, actually.
Yes.
So, this is Michael Burhan for Xander Scullion, Steve Dix, for Jamie Style, for Lord Boys Post 1975, for Gaming Pegasus, who was lovely with us on the chat as well, for awesome people. I'm just trying to find who else that was on the chat as well, like Reaper Pikachu, and also that gentleman by the name of David Starzika as well.
Yeah, Dave, I'll be chatting to you tomorrow at work, pal.
And for each and every one of you, this is Michael Burhan saying that we've got gameplay. Have you?